What is up, buds? Welcome to Weed&d, the pot positive live tabletop role-playing experience. I am your dungeon master for the night, Brandon Allen McClanahan, but my buds call me Bam. And you guys are my buds now, so you can call me Bam. Thank you so much for being here tonight, guys. It is our very great pleasure to bring this show to you each and every week. These are my favorite people. This is my favorite game. And honestly, smoking weed is one of my favorite pastimes. So this is us, baby. This is who we are and how we get down. Play however the fuck you want to play at home. You know what I mean? That's the best thing about D&D as a game. You get to play your way. Find your crew, find your people, play some D&D. It's good for you. Man, as far as the show this week, man, we got a couple cool things. You'll notice during the show we've got a new layout. We are trying to update all the visual identity of the show as we go along. Again, thanks to everybody who does go and take that extra step and throw us subs and tips and all that stuff. All that money we then turn right back into the show to build the layouts to keep this thing moving forward. So I cannot thank you guys enough for taking your very valuable cash and entrusting it with us. I promise you it's something we take very seriously, and it all just goes right back into the show, even including our weed. We buy our own weed. It's not like you guys are buying us weed. Unless you want to buy us weed, I wouldn't stop you. But yeah, man, that's as far as the studio goes, man. We've just been crunching away on a lot of this layout stuff. I hope you guys enjoy, our Twitch viewers enjoy our stream avatars that we've been working on. We've got some custom Weed&d sprites in there, and we do some battle royales and stuff. If you are watching us on YouTube, come over to Twitch just one time. Come on a Tuesday night, 8 p.m. Pacific. We are always here every week. And these little avatars, they just bring me tremendous amounts of joy. So that's the only reason. If you can only watch on YouTube, that's cool. But man, just one time, come on over to Twitch, hang out, get your little avatar walking on the bottom of the screen, fight some people, hug some people, fart. The fart animations are super funny. So I'm absolutely loving that. So yeah, man, that's literally all I've got for you this week. No giveaways. Right now, we did kind of a ton right around Christmas, so we're just kind of getting our next couple giveaways figured out now. We are working on the Discord one-shot, getting obviously schedules together for 5 people that aren't, have the same schedules is a little difficult, so that's taking a little longer, but we will be cranking that thing out. There will be a fun content video for that as well. But other than that, man, I'm like shaking. I just want to get to this D&D, and in order to do that, I got to pass this joint here through the magical fibers of the internet to my dear friend, Brenna Folger. Brenna, baby, how you doing?
Yow! I'm feeling great. I'm feeling amazing. It's Brenna Folger here, Bruno the Sea Serpent, and I can't wait to get started, right? It's called cannabis, not cantabis. And I'm gonna pass this to Abby.
Ooh, and I'm gonna take it. Abby Dandy, aka Tynna Smoothhands around these parts. Can't I bus? But should I bus? Oh, I should, and I can't wait to do it with these sexy ass bitches. Let's do it. This is going right to you, Drewby. Let's do it.
Yeet. What up, y'all? Drew, Thoricus the dwarf. Papa's tired, but he gonna whoop some ass today with 4 of the best fucking people I know and the best fucking DM on the planet and the best buds fucking supporting us all the way. So glad you guys are here. Let's fuck shit up. 2 tickets to Fucktown. Best friend, you deliver those tickets to Fucktown.
Ooh, expedited shipping, best friend. Let's fucking do this. Jake Taylor here as Rial Othrevan. Most recently, Vapor Rial, which was just a delight. And man, these are the kind of people that I would go to war for. So let's go and fucking do it. 2 Blunts Langley.
Hey, appreciate it, Jake. Yo, like you said, I am your boy Gus, 2 Blunts Langley, and I am ready to fuck up this big bad evil guy like a hedge fund director. Let's get after it, ladies and gentlemen. Back to you, Bam.
Oh man, it's a little stuck in there this time. Well, guys, in order to play this D&D, we got to do our little ritual we like to do around here. Maybe you've heard about it, maybe you haven't, but we like to take a lighter, like this little number right here. Mine has a pickle on it. We like to look around, make sure we're not going to light any of our friends, family, or household pets on fire, and go. Lighters up. Let's play some fucking D&D, guys. Ow! Oh, yes! All right. If you will please allow me to set the mood. When last we left the Ferocious Five, they were engaged in an epic battle with the forces of Queen Mab's army. The first battle of the Feywar had been going mostly according to plan, as the forces of the workshop, innocent to the ways of violence and war, struck heavy blows against the advancing Spriggan army, holding firm to their position, with half of their ambush still lying in wait. The blood price of war demands to be paid, and paid it was, as the Master Great unit fell before the surge of the forces of ice and shadow. It was then that Securi, guardian of the Summer Court, was struck by the blade of Glacious, the general of the Winter Court, sending him soaring lifelessly across the battlefield. The tide of the battle may be turning, with Glacious the Iceblight taking the field and the morale of their troops beginning to falter. But the Five still have quite a few tricks up their sleeve, and they stand at the ready. All right, guys, we jump back in. Starting with the west side of our map, we see the workshop, Kringle's workshop, still standing unaffected by this battle, other than the ballista that was fired by Rivet that shot the payload in the middle of the ice lake. Tynna Smoothhands, you, the giant, and your troops, too blessed to be stressed, are all standing in front of the wooden gates waiting to see if anybody gets beyond the front force of your armies. Securi, the Rabbit Knight, guardian of the Summer Court, lying lifelessly at your feet, crumbled in his armor, with his sword, the Sword of Dawn, laying nearby. Divot and the Silent G's lie in ambush, hiding still on this western mountain peak here. You know, your units, the Silent G's, are moving along the trees at the base of the mountain. Divot, you yourself have been standing on top of this mountain, weaving wonderful works of magic, while the teeth of your traps still lie in wait. The illusionary giant that Rial has created that still stands. Actually, I'm sorry, Rial. When you shifted to your animal form, you would have lost the illusion. I didn't think of that. You know what, though? I didn't call it, and we even said that it was existing as part of your epic action. So I'm just going to keep rolling. His feet stand, on this cold white and blue ice, the wintry trees surrounding you on the north and the south, the green and purple and magenta mountains that surround you on all sides in this corridor that leads to the workshop. Thoricus, Onyxheart, and his Gnome Reavers had recently stormed, causing a murderita inside the lake, dispatching, between the combined forces of the Powder Up North, the Gnome Reavers, and Chaboys. You guys managed to dispatch a firm, a nice 600 of their units in your big icy trap. The stone giants that stand nearby kind of facing off with a berserking Thoricus Onyxheart, calling upon the fiery bird of the rock imbued through the weapon, the fury, granted him by Malka the Fury, going into a berserk mode, some kind of special for a fighter. You see his veins and his skin just pumping with energy. The fire bird that burst out of him for a moment is now quelled, but you still sense that hot, searing fire just jetting off of his body. Powder Up North, Rial, your unit's still lying in ambush along the tree lines, managed to hide again after dispatching their troops. You, however, Rial, in your aquatic doom beast form, Vaporeal, with your gills and your claws and your fangs, have just gotten out of this icy bath after dispatching the last of the units inside. There are still about 600 Spriggans marching toward the workshop, behind them the might of 4 of their frost giants. Beyond them, you see that swirling cloud of magic that Securi and Glacious were doing combat in. At once it was like a dome that surrounded them, but after Curie got shot out of it, the dome has just dissolved into this swirling cloud of purple and black mist. And as you guys look to the far eastern side of the battlefield, you see the sprawling Glacious, standing 50 feet tall, a creature made of living ice. His great mighty ice sword, 20 feet long, 5 feet thick, emblazoned with this blue rune on the side, the Ice Blight, as it is known. You see Glacious kind of standing, and as he moves forward, now taking his position in the battlefield, whereas before he was distracted with Curie, as he moves forward, this swirling cloud, this ichor and maelstrom behind him just kind of bleeds forward at his feet. Each swing of his massive sword draws some of this purple smoke further and further, and it feels like the end is closing in on you guys as he moves forward. But the Five have many plans in action. The Gnome Reavers just went. Glacious takes the field and moves forward to where he's currently positioned here on the map. He moves forth the rest of his movement, but even with his giant blade, he's not able to reach any of your troops. You see this blue and black living ice. Each time he steps, the icy ground around him forms into his legs, and it's almost like he melts into his next position. He's constantly adding and losing ice as he moves. His shoulder will just fall off entirely and land in a pile of snow on the ground, and then he'll move forward, and from the ice of his body, a new arm will grow out. He seems to be to not follow the same physical parameters as most of the creatures that you guys fought. This guy seems to be an abomination of magic. So yes, we jump right back in. Glacious has already moved into play, which brings us to Chaboys and their leader, Bruno. So yeah, at this point, again, just to kind of like break into the middle space between D&D and us playing a game, the Glacious is designed to be however you guys choose to deal with him. I'm ready. So don't let the fact that there's a big boss take away focus from any other plans or whatever you've got. I have this set up, whatever you guys want to do. So at this point, Bruenor, you see this big flowing purple and black cloud as this giant 50-foot tall creature of ice, glowing blue eyes and blue rune emblazoned on his giant ice sword, marching through the field right toward, the position of where your army is on the south and Thoricus is on the north. So Bruno the Sea Serpent, what do you do?
Cool. Well, first and foremost, I would like to dispatch of these other guys that are to like the south of me.
Yes.
With Chaboys, I would like to order them to let's just clear the rest of this, and then we'll probably start heading back towards the workshop.
All right.
So I don't think my Chaboys are ready for that huge ass guy.
So you see, the Chaboys themselves as they kind of turn and they look up. You see the morale as they look up. They're just these little tiny 2-foot tall gnome guys. You've done the best that you can, but these people have just had their first taste of violence and destruction. And after seeing that, understanding their own mortality or the way their life essence works in a way they never really have before, you watch as their eyes look up at this giant creature, and you hear some of them scream out as their shields start to rattle on the ground. The Ice Blight!
So they have some sort of history, is what you're saying. There's a history there. They have an idea of who that guy is. I understand. Cool. So are you... They're very scared, and they're too scared to
I'm going to
attack.
give them... We're going to do morale checks. This will be for each of you guys on the first turn since the presence of this new guy. They're not going to run away, but they might lose some of their morale boost. So go ahead and just give me a D20. Cool. It's a DC. In this case... Two! All right, so yeah, Bruenor, what you see, the strong phalanx of Chaboys that you taught them, the defensive positioning, you see as a couple of the shields just looking up at this massive, intimidating force of destruction looming on the horizon with this swirling cloud, gathering behind him. You notice a couple of the shields shake, drop, a couple of your units back away. They don't run away, but you notice they're not holding that phalanx quite as strong. They do lose 1 point of their morality, so they're down to an 11 instead of a 12.
I just wanted to ask, because of the last move that I did, like going berserker and trying to demoralize them and inspire our things? Would they have any kind of advantage?
I would say in this one case, no, only because they're engaged with 2 units. You know what I mean? Like, I pretty much gave it to everybody else that could see you, but with them, it's like there's 200 around. I don't think they would really have the time to look across. You know what I mean? Like, I just, for them, no, I would say Powder Up North gets the +1, and I'll go ahead and give them that. That's actually a good point, Drew. Thank you for reminding me of that. Anybody, that wasn't engaged in like a horrible battle at the time that could have paid attention. Your Gnome Reavers are maxed out on morale. There we go, the Silent G's upgrade, and so do your 2 blessed to be stressed. Boom. All right, no, that is a great point. But yeah, unfortunately, I would say the Chaboys are probably the ones, because they're in the thick of it. You know, they've been fighting on all sides. They've been kind of surrounded. So yeah, unfortunately, you know, and they're also still kind of looking over at the corpses of Masturbate, the Master Great, lying on the ground after being kind of torn to pieces by these Spriggans.
Chaboys have been through a lot, so like.
So you do.
I'm not disappointed. I guess when Bruenor sees this, like Bruenor understands the terrors of battle, and Bruenor's seen it a ton. So like the idea of, you know, how far they have come is like she was already meeting them where they were at already, right? Like, yeah. So just the idea that some of them are running or getting scared is not, like, she's not going to hold it against them. She completely gets it.
Yeah, and honestly, Bruenor, that's a fantastic point, and thank you, because this does awaken a memory in your mind. You remember as you fled Elmira after, you know, the dragon Exonius had taken over your city, looking back on the horizon, you know, on the beautiful pearl and golden gates of Elmira, and seeing, you know, the horizon blighted out by just this massive force, the shadow dragon, you know, one of the more powerful creatures in existence, and its massive army that just fell in upon your home. So you see, you know, again, the reason you don't judge, you remember noble warriors running right next to you to get away from Elmira. You know, it's not the merit of a soldier if he gets scared on the battlefield. It's what he does in the moment after. And in this moment, your troops are not running away as you've seen the other armies do, but they are shaken. And you think maybe the only thing keeping them held in place right now is you, the poise, the leadership. You know, and so they, you know, as they shake and step back and they lose that morale, they are still ready to act. So if you want to do their attack, it'll just be a competing battle ranking. Are mine versus yours.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I want to. The ones that are left are gonna.
I rolled a 1. Crit hit right out the gate. I'm gonna hit this giant bomb.
Oh man. All right.
Oh, we got a little ritual we do around here. On 1s and 20s, we like to do us a little crit hit. It came back to bite us in the ass when there was like 7 1s at the end of the game last week.
Oh man.
Oh man.
That was tough.
All right. So yeah, Bruenor, what'd you end up getting?
A 16.
Nice. You add your battle ranking. So that's gonna be a 27 against a 3.
Bang!
So not only, Bruenor, do your units succeed in their strike, they actually decimate the other unit. So knowing what you know, seeing them scared, how does this play out? How do they do this?
So what happens is I can see them, I can watch them. I'm just getting out of the water. I'm getting ready to kick some ass with them. And I can see them on the ice taking in what just happened next to them, with the Master Great being just decimated, right? And they see that and they just experienced that and kind of held on, but then they see this huge motherfucker, just big, and they know him, right? So they know to be afraid of him, and they start shaking. A few of them fall. They fall back. They let their shields down. They maybe take the shield because it is a sled and just sled away a little bit, right? Or they dig into the snow. But the few, as I see them running, I don't try to call back. I say, whoever's willing to stay strong. Cha, 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 cha. And I'm like getting out of the water, and I can see some of them making eye contact with me as they're getting out of the water and just nodding. Because this is it. it's this or nothing. They have to protect the workshop, and this is their moment. And I can see them muster up all the strength inside, and they go for these guys. It's like they hear the yelling of Thoricus from across the lake, right? And they do the same thing, like they're learning to just like embrace their rage, and they're taking in all of this trauma and this terribleness, and they're turning it into usefulness. They are cannabis fighters, not cantabis fighters.
Boom. You see Bruenor, you almost, as one of the shields falls to the ground next to you, and you rally them. The ones that have been with you always, your best 15 out of the 100, they never faltered for a second. Their shields stayed firm, and they quickly, rather than looking at their opponents, they looked directly at you for your orders. And they're ready. As you start the chaws, they too start cha, cha, cha. And you see as their cry and their call, you see behind them, 25 feet, some of the ones that were running away, turning around, seeing as their friends and allies charge against their own fear, like climbing up an avalanche in a mountain, pushing all of that aside, the slaughter of their friends. Imbued by your leadership, they charge, at first outnumbered, and their shields clash against the bodies of 1,000 or 100 Spriggans, and you just hear the banging of claws on shields. But then finally you hear a second charging from behind them, as all the ones that started running away have picked their weapons back up, and charging shieldless, they just run up, and so motivated by you, they jump over the shield line. You see them coast over the top, and each one of them just starts landing on one Spriggan or another, their bodies turning to mush and ice. You see the shields push forward, invigorated by their advance, and you watch as they kind of hop frog each other. The shields push forward and hold them at bay. They jump back over the top and stab them down, that scorpion tail attack that you taught them in your hour of prep. Frickin' A, you watch as they slice and create mush. They don't manage to move into the space, but you look at another 300 Spriggan, army still marching along the south line. That was an impressive display, but there's still quite a battle ahead of them, which brings us to your epic opportunity.
Yes, I'm very excited. So, with my epic opportunity, I am still in the water, right? And I've just kind of been imbued with it's a cold water, so it's like, whew, it just kind of gets everything woken up, and you can feel the pins and needles, right? And it's like washing all the leftover gunk from the previous battle kind of off of me, and just getting in under my armor and just washing out everything, right? And on top of that, I see Rial as another fish person, which I haven't seen someone else with that type of just ability underwater, and that looking so long that it kind of tapped me into where I'm from. And I'm in the water, I'm seeing other people that have a similar, there's representation matters, right? I'm seeing people that look like me kicking ass, and I'm like, yes! So I want to get everything that I can, kind of swim down deep in the water, and then shoot out, and then rain fury upon these Spriggans that are all right over Shmion. I want to do a long click. This guy. Over, these guys down here. That's one.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Bruenor, for you, the world is a different place just before this action begins. Where everybody else hears the clang and the slash of all of the battle, you allow your ears to float just below the icy water line, and you breathe in through your gills, and you feel that ice water run all through your body. For you, the world is quiet. You only hear the subtle as the water washes over you. And you start thinking about this creature that Rial turned himself into, this marvelous aquatic doom machine. And then you remember, you are that doom machine. Rial is using magic to do something that you are born to do. And in this moment, the Maiden's Bort, your new shield, you haven't yet attuned to it yet, but drawn from the grave of the leader, suddenly you feel that wave of water that you felt the first time you experienced the shield. And you feel as if your arm is called back just to slide right into the holds on the Maiden's Bort shield. You feel its Borty goodness lock in beside you. And as you start envisioning this aquatic doom creature, You feel the water around you start raising you into the air. You know, all the onlookers, you turn and you look and you see the frozen icy waters of the lake coming up in this long blue twisting icy cylinder. And at its very crest, you see Bruenor, her eyes glowing blue, like bright blue, casting a blue shadow on the surrounding water and troops. Her eyes glowing as she leads this giant cylinder into the sky, all at the crest of the front of the Maiden's Board shield. You see as Bruenor casts her shield to the side, and suddenly the cylinder takes shape. You see this massive 20-foot tall sea serpent just blazing around the outside of her body. Bruenor, you look down at the troops and you know, like a wave coming down on the sand of the beach, you drive this massive wall of water down onto these troops. You see, you know, again, give me a, they've only got a 2. So give me in this moment, Bruenor, what would this check? I'm sorry, give me a flat out strength check.
Oh, okay.
She got it.
Yeah. Strength. Wham!
20.
Oh man.
25!
Hey.
Bruenor, you remember one time sitting in a bar and listening to these men swear they were telling a story. And you're like, wait, that was me. I saved that merchant ship. But the way they talked about the story, it was like this great sea beast had arrived that seemed completely in control of you. You start noticing that this serpent manifestation that you have is part of your namesake, part of your legacy. This beast that lingers in the lore of your own family's history. Suddenly in this moment you understand you truly are the Serpent. And in this moment, the wave hits the ground, and with their 2 and your successful 25 strength save, a strength save or strength check so high that they literally can't beat it unless they roll a 20. And here we go. 16, okay. So Bruenor, you watch as the wave of this sea serpent comes down at the floor. You kill him. How do you do it?
Correct.
Excellent. I do it just with grace, and you almost think for a moment that there will be mercy, but no, not at all, not even a little bit, because I will come down upon them and the wave just kind of crashes them down and smushes them, and then whoever isn't being crushed by the weight of this water, I am crushing them with the weight of my boot on their throat.
Force of
and
your
hitting
will.
them with and hitting them with the shield in the face and just exploding people. It's kind of like this, it's like how like monks will train under waterfalls and stuff, just the pressure. It's like that, like on top of these people, except also there's a shield coming at their faces and a blade going to their throats.
Yes, you know, the first crush of your body on the ground, you know, just destroys. You hear the breaking, crushing, snapping wood and snow bodies that these Spriggans have just crushed underneath you. But the few that remain, like a flowing river, you just kind of circle that area on the battlefield. And at one point, it's a sword strike. Another point, a shield slash. Another point, just a brutal display of brute force as you just crush someone to the ground with your shield. But you just see this giant aquatic shape. And then finally, the water all splashes away from you. The ground's so cold it freezes in a moment. You're standing there and your eyes shift back. You are you once more.
Excellent.
That was a hell of a thing.
All right. Tynna Smoothhands, you stand at the gates of the workshop. You know, you lying at your feet, the broken body of Sir Curie. You see, he's got this strange, like, slash mark that cut through the breastplate of his armor, and the wound itself is like burning with ice. Like you see smoke coming off of the wound as if it was like an acid burning away, but it's just this black and blue ice. Quickly your healer instinct comes in, you start moving your hand toward it, but you feel this like really evil presence that makes you bring your hand back. You know that in order to affect this kind of magic, it's going to be a little bit more than just your normal heal. Again, not meaning you can't do it, just that, it'll be a little more than like I heal him a D4 and he's back to life. This is a magical wound. But you see him lying at your feet. Once mighty and strong, you saw him call upon this star that still burns in the sky, but his body is just kind of limp. You see his chest barely moving up and down. But
I see him struggling and to breathe right here before me, and I look around and I see the carnage before me, and I notice that I'm buzzing with this electricity and excitement that I'm oddly uncomfortable with, and I'm reminded of my mother yet again. The reason that the holy bomb I was even allowed to have the skills to be forged, who I trained under in Ashbury, and I'm reminded of her great craftsmanship, and I'm also reminded of the immense debt I owe her. And that all flashes back to me in the carnage around me, and I look down upon Sir Curie, and I'm given a chance, I see in my mind, to heal somebody in my life real quick. So.
All right.
Is he able to speak?
Yeah, you could try to speak to him.
Okay, so I'm gonna try to reach my hand out and again to him and whisper in his ear and see if he's able to speak.
You see his little rabbit ears, that stick up outside of his platinum eagle helmet that he wears. You see they kind of twitch as you get closer to him. You see his eyes tremble a little bit as he uses all of the strength of his spirit to look up at you. You see his eyes kind of shimmering, looking up at you, but he is lucid, like he understands that you are talking to him.
What happened?
Glacious. You see he reaches his little paw out to you and he places it on your shoulder. He has bested me. You must not let the queen get the workshop. And his little paw falls to the side. He's still conscious, but he's barely holding it together.
You are a strong warrior. I can attempt to revive you if you wish to move on. I'm very proud of you.
You see, as you say that feeling that you're talking about, Tynna, that protector instinct that your mother kept you, keeping your father's life a secret from you your whole life so that you could be happy, putting herself at risk when he was in his more violent and drunken evenings, always making sure you were protected. It was because of this, not the slight to your father, that you took her last name, not common in the halfling culture. You took her last name when you left and went, because she really is the strongest warrior you've ever seen, even if her battle was not on the battlefield. And so in this moment, as you look down, you see Curie looks up at you, and he says, "Yes, please. I have to fight." And he kind of is trying to reach his paw over to his blade, but it's too hard. He looks down at the searing ice wound across his chest, bewildered and lost in this moment. You begin calling upon that protector instinct, the warmth of your mother, the part of Shantia that appealed to you as this deity spoke to you the first time, mixed in with this tingly magic of the Feywild that surrounds you. Perhaps your time spent with Tharizdun was not a waste after all, for you seem to have some control of these wily energies around you. And as you tell Sir Curie of the pride that you feel in him, that saintly glow of benevolence begins to spill off of you as it has so many times before. And you see as he looks up at you, his pupils go wide.
And I want to then feel connected to the maternal energy of Shantia, the light of Shantia, and continue. Did I cut you off?
No, you're good. So yes, you start, go ahead and cast, whatever healing spell you would like. You noticed as the healing, that will apply to his health, but you notice that it alone is not enough. Your feet rooted into the ground that surround you as you start to think of the bliss of Shantia. You start drawing on that root energy that you planted in your troops. They still, don't worry, they're not going to lose their ability, but you start drawing from these golden pools of light that surround you all over on the floor, pulling them into yourself, channeling them down. This is going to be a wisdom save, or a wisdom check. I'm sorry. So go ahead and roll. You can either click the word wisdom on your character sheet or just roll a d20 and add your wisdom. It is a DC 15. This is tough. I mean, you're fighting some serious
Right.
shadow and ice magic here. Living death idol. The
Wait,
16.
sorry. I'm trying to get to the. Oh.
Yeah. No, I see it first.
Oh, yeah, oh gosh.
Yes. With a 16, Tynna, you manage, calling upon this golden light at your feet, to imbue the healing light across Sir Curie's chest. Go ahead and cast your whichever heal you're going to do, and I'm going to add that to his hit points. But Sir Curie is now going to be able to rejoin the battle.
And would this be a moment where I would be able to upcast this spell at a higher level?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, yeah. Actually, no, I'm just going to cast it at level 1. Sorry, decisions.
If it, okay, cool. And then, so it's just...
I'm going to cast Cure Wounds.
Nice,
yeah.
Cure Wounds. If you want, I know it's a little tricky in the interface. If you want to, whatever level you want to cast it as, just roll that many more d8s right now, and we can add it to it. So if you want to cast like a 3rd level, you can just roll 2 more d8s if you want.
No, I think I just trying to conserve a little bit.
Somebody's played an RPG before. All right. Very good, very good. Okay, so yes, but I mean the 5 hit points. In D&D he was at 0. He had 2 death saves. The bounty of Shantia's light kind of pools underneath him on the ground, absorbing into his back. You see him glow as the black and blue ice wound across his chest closes. His armor still split from the wound, but the brown fur underneath of his chest, you see as the wound heals in front of you. His eyes open. He grabs the sword of dawn, and he's ready to go. So that would be your epic opportunity, Tynna. Did you have anything special you wanted the Too Blessed to be stressed to do?
No, I just want them to hold firm, and Hiccup knows that he's waiting for the signal.
Totally. Yeah, and you remember, they're basically, they have the hold attack. Once something moves in, they'll get a chance to strike before it would get a chance to attack them. Super cool.
Yeah.
Awesome. That brings us to the Master Great. R.I.P. guys. You know what? R.I.P. guys.
Yeah, smoke one for the homies.
Well, you know what? One for the homies. This one's for you, Masturbate. You really were Master Great. All right, so their turn's over. Which brings us to the Frost Giants. Thoricus, seeing this truly terrifying source of this burning, enraged dwarf filled with fury as this firebird burns off your back. The elements are in high display during this epic battle. They're like, nah, and they step forward and just attack the Gnome Reavers. They've watched as the Gnome Reavers have made pretty quick work out of these groups of Spriggans. One of these giant 20-foot or 15-foot tall frost giants steps up and grabs a hunking piece of ice, scooping it off the ground, hurling it at your troops. Go ahead and give me, it's an opposing battle ranking check, just the same. Your boys are juiced, though. They have a plus 15 right now.
I'm sorry, what do I have to roll for a...
Just a d20.
Oh, just, okay.
Yep, and then you add your battle ranking.
Oh, well. That was...
Not great. Not great. They still get to add plus 15 to that. So you got an 18, and he got a 19. Now, Thoricus, you have a d6 from your boy, from Ship Boy, Divot. This is a case where a difference between 1 is a guaranteed success. So if you want to use that inspiration point that was granted them by Divot in this case, that would give you an extra d6 to add to your roll, and they would win.
Oops. Oh, did I roll that?
Oh, with a 4. That's good. It's funny, you rolled higher with a D6 than you did with the D20.
Why?
All right.
Why?
I'm sorry.
Why do you hate me so much?
I just thought it was funny. I thought that was funny. You don't think that's funny?
Come on.
I just think it's funny. That's good. All right, so, yeah, you see as the giant hunk of ice goes, and once more, you know, they've all kind of taken to your fighting style. They're still spinning around in this weird circle. You know, their little oblong bodies just kind of like this little like cyclone of doom that just wobbles and spins them along. The fury, the bloodlust, the defensive energy, the zeal, the fallen comrades they wish to avenge, all in this moment. And dude, this ice, they've seen it before. You know, if you recall this, they've deflected 2 of these ice blasts before, and they seem like, man, they're taking to this battle thing pretty quickly in comparison to the other units that are looking around. You know, you notice that like the Chaboys and the Gnome Reavers with their fighters leading the way have kind of adapted to that fighter mentality pretty quickly.
Sure.
Yeah, so that's a miss. This next one he's gonna scoop and do the same. He's not gonna push forward because he doesn't have to. So one more battle ranking check there. Thoricus against the Gnome Reaver. So you'll add plus 15 to it.
Jesus.
Rolled a 4. All right, so 4.
Come on! This is
It's not, I mean, good thing they have a plus 15. Let's just say that. So that's a 19. That's pretty good. He is at full. This is one of the only dudes that hasn't taken damage in this fight. So he gets plus 10. He got an 18, and you. Sorry, you got a 19. You won again. All right, so even with plus 10, only rolling an 8.
Turntables have turned.
Wow.
Wow, the
Wow.
turntables. So yes. Wow, indeed. That's a classic wow right there. They've just pushed those back. So here come
right now.
Other boy. I can't do it without moving Glacious. I gotta just scoot him a little bit so that I can grab it. No, he's still in the way. No, he's really big. I don't know why he's so big. There we go. Yeah, wait. Now I got. Hold on. He's down here. He's scary.
Never said that.
There we go. All right. So you see the other frost giants begin to advance. They're, watching the death fury of the north and the ice. They think their chances might be best going south. So Bruenor, your boys, let's see, actually 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4. They can both reach. So they're going to attempt to do the same. They're going to hurl these giant ice blocks. They're both at full too. So they have plus 10 to both of these rolls. It'll be 2 battle ranking checks against Chip Boys.
Okay, well, I got a 13 and a 20!
Chip fucked up. Chip fucked up.
I'm good with them early. Crit hit, baby.
Suck this prince dick.
Crit.
That's what it's about,
The
boys.
Chip
boys.
All right, so maybe they roll crits. They did. The second one was a crit.
Are you freaking kidding me?
A 12 and a 20. Oh my gosh, you got a 13 and a 20. I rolled a 12 and a 20. How crazy is
Oh,
that?
darn it.
Whew.
Didn't
All right.
I demoralize them or some shit?
Not the Giants, no.
What? They're right in front of me.
No, not those two. Those two were demoralized. These two on the backside here.
Mother.
So they haven't even really been engaged in the battle yet. And frost giants are pretty epic forces themselves. The Spriggans, it's their sheer number that's intimidating, but these frost giants are big beefy boys.
Okay, I'll smoke.
But
You convinced me. I'm wrong. That was a critic.
yeah.
Fuck.
Sorry.
I was just not.
Yeah, who's got some frosty?
So is I.
Giant.
It's
It's just a frostier gianter guy.
Yes.
If we
All right,
critted
so-
against each other, what does that mean?
Now, because
happened?
remember we actually established this. So when you get the crit, you double your battle rating, and in your case, Bruenor, your battle ranking is 1 higher than theirs. So you're comparing crits. Your crit still won. It was your crit that served the day. And then with your 13, you got a 24. They only got a 22. So you repel both attacks. You see as the shields, the troops that have done all their jumps, they pick their shields back up. Your defensive phalanx is back up. And with their sleds, they're managed to they all kind of pile up next to each other, put up like 10 shields, and these massive blocks of ice just bounce off the top.
What a ride!
Which means it's the Stone Giants' turn, and then the Silent G's. So Divot, Stone Giants, and the Silent G's are all up.
They are the Stoned Giants, right?
I have a question about the Stone Giants, and I know we probably already covered this, but what is their attack range?
They can throw a rock 5 squares.
Nice.
And then, or they can do, smash on the person in 1 square next to them. And they move 3.
They're 15 feet tall, though. Don't they have, like, an extended... I thought if you were that tall...
Yeah, but if you think about it, 100 troops in 1 square, it's 100 feet by 100 feet. So being 15 feet doesn't get you extra.
That's when we're doing on one kind of shit. Okay.
So that's for the battle map.
Yeah, forget about that.
Like I said, I made it big just so it, like, you understand that they're bigger than the other
doing
troops.
it live, y'all.
Now, another question. What is my maximum distance I can travel right now?
You move 4 squares with a move, and you also, if you wanted to, could use your action to dash. So you could move up to 8 squares in 1 turn, but you wouldn't really be able to do much else.
Okay, let me look at something real quick.
Yeah.
He's gonna look at something. He's gonna look at something.
Ooh, what's he looking at?
He's gonna look at it.
It's probably really cool.
Okay. So with my increased perception because of my eye vest and stuff, I kind of saw what was going on at the front of the gate, right?
Yes.
And I look at my troops and I look at the giants, and I'm like, to the troops I say, do as I say, not as I do. Stick to the plan. Giant, throw me at the rabbit.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, God.
You see the giant just kind of... Remember, when they don't move, they kind of blend into the mountain backdrop. You see as he moves to look at you. Okay. And he grabs you by the cuff of the back of your vest. And yeah, he's just going to... It's going to be a strength check on his part to see how close he gets you. All right. They have dope strength, though, so that helps. 19. That'll do it. Heck yeah, Divot. You see the combined 2 of them, they real quickly just grab like a tree, sit you on the tree, and then the 2 of them just go, and they both throw it at the same time, and you're just kind of like a ski chair just riding through the air. At first you're like worried you're about to land on and squish Sercuri. Like, oh crap, am I about to knock him back down to 0? But you manage to, through dopeness alone, to kind of just shave the wind around you and force you to land, as whatever superhero pose you want to be in.
Yeah.
Right next to Curie.
So like I land and it's super awesome, but they weren't looking.
Yeah. Yeah, you see Tynna's like still staring down at him. He's just looking up into her eyes. And you see like the 2 blessed to be stressed are all staring at Tynna. Like nobody's paying attention to the awesome thing. They're all looking at your sister.
Taking it in stride, I just walk right up out of nowhere and I'm like, hey. And I want to like spook them a little bit because they're like, whoa, what are you doing over here,
Yeah.
And I take a look at him and I'm aware of this weird wound that he has. And I reach deep down into my sack.
Come on.
And I pull out the vial of pink mist that I have.
Hey, I recognize that mist.
That's fucking interesting.
Do you add mustard to it?
And
then
I offer it to him to put on the wound. I'm like, hey, I don't know exactly what this does, but that's never stopped me before.
Yeah, you basically, taking a little bit of this like condensated Feywild essence. You pour it onto him, and you see like the searing blue and black of Tynna's magic had been taken away, but his armor, the splintered metal still stabbing into his chest, points where this corruption, the might of this Glacious, the Iceblight, has managed to just mangle his body. As you pour this like vial of pink mist, it spills out like a soft, waterfall, kind of drips about the speed of molasses, very slow. And there's like a moment that hangs in the air as the drop of it just kind of finally falls on. And you see the pink mist forms into armor. And it just like, almost as if the armor itself were now living, you see the pink mist imbue all of his armor. So now no longer like an actual metal suit of armor. He now has this swirling pink mist armor. You see as his eyes refill with that dedicated purpose that you saw, when he was wicking the blade. You see the sun in the sky starts burning a little brighter once more. And he holds his little paw out, and you see the Sword of Dawn just summon into his hand. So...
Oh my god, he sounds so cute! He sounds so cute!
He was very cute.
But look at, imagine that, but like covered, it's like pink.
It's pink.
Fluffy. Like, that sounds incredible.
Yeah.
Hell yes.
All right.
Adorable.
Yeah.
The best security.
Security.
All right, so I factored this in, he's now got the Fey Mist armor on. And again, Guardian of the Summer Court, you imagine, if you had poured that on yourself, it might not have done the same thing, but it's kind of up his alley. So, dope. That was awesome. Sweet epic moment.
Knew the file had to come back. It had to come back.
Right? Okay, tight. So, I don't know exactly what that cost me, like economy-wise.
I would say that would probably be your epic opportunity, just because it is, just so you know, it's going to be a pretty strong thing for him. So it's like you have used your thing to boost him up. The Giants, since it was your epic opportunity, if you wanted them to do stuff, you could still move them, as well as the Silent Cheese if you wanted to.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but because they threw me, I have not used my movement.
Absolutely, that's correct.
Yes.
You are wrong.
Okay.
You're right.
So, I know I already used my epic opportunity, but turning invisible is not a particularly epic thing. That's something that I can do.
Yeah, it's right in your
All right.
action economy, totally.
So I'm just gonna look at Tynna, and I'm gonna look at Sir Curie, and I'm just gonna be like, "You do what you're gonna do. I've got an idea," and disappear. And then I want to use. I'm making a beeline towards Glacious as far as I can go.
Okay. All right. So because 1, 2, 3, I'll put you here because you did end up using. Let's say rather than being able to dash, you use your action for the invisibility. You are invisible though, and you're kind of like running along like in a straight line through the field, looking to see if any of the giants or anybody are looking at you. You're not popping up on any radars that you can tell. Glacious, however, is just this massive, like, moving mountain of ice, and you always feel like he's looking at you, and so you're just like, I don't know if he's actually, but he looks like he's kind of, it's like a painting, like, no matter where you move, it's like, is Glacious looking at me right now? And it's like, yeah,
Oh my God.
yeah, he probably is. So yeah, again, where a coward would run, toward the nearest exit, the five and your troops storming into this, massive purple and black cloud on the horizon, just feeling that hero's call within your core. Again, fighting for something that you don't necessarily know much about. It's your cause is good. You've identified that much with what's happening. Queen Mab is a sinister agent of evil, and the Lord of Ice, Queen of Ice and Shadow. And so it's like, you're fighting the good fight, but you don't really know much about the workshop or these people or anything. You've just been thrust into this. But as is true to the hero spirit, the only way you know how to respond is like heroes. And so in this moment, as this swarming cloud, starts to descend on this corridor, you all continue your charge into the unknown. So now it's the Spriggans are up. So you see the armies set against, where the various. I'm just going to move a couple of these people to make it easy.
Man, fuck Spriggans.
These
Yeah.
all three are going to be coming at you. Bruenor, as you kind of come back to yourself, you see as you've slaughtered these units, the charging ranks. You hold your shield up and push a few off, maybe even slice a couple arms off. But you do find yourself, pushed back to where your unit is, and you and your general Crumble are just kind of standing their ground. You see Crumble with this big giant thing, just like, oh, sorry, oh my, sorry about that. And he's crushing. He's like, I'm really good at this. And he's just like destroying quite a few people with no, eye toward defense. And the Chaboys, from all sides, you see as they kind of stand against the icy lake, not allowing them to get all the way behind them, with Brian even standing at their side, this wave of 300 Spriggans comes in at you. It's going to be a lot of battle ranking checks here. The Chaboys is just so good that they really kind of have to hope for crits. 6, 6, and 2. All right, so the first two I get. So go ahead and give me 3 battle ranking checks.
I have 1. 14 and 7. But that first one was a 1.
That's gonna take this hit for the 1. All right, and then they get +6 to the first 2. This other one's a pretty beat up unit too, so it only gets +2. So +6. All right. Unfortunately, that 1 is gonna be a loss. But it's not by enough that they have to break or take the morale. It's just -2 to their battle ranking. So they lose that one. That brings them down to a 9. You see as, the Spriggans are able to, finally they just start grabbing the shields. And, you never really taught them how to hold on to a shield. And so some of the Spriggans are starting to get wise. And they just grab the shield, throw it away, and they see this little trembling gnome standing there with a sword like, cha! And then you just see their spiked, claws sticking into the necks as a few of Chaboys are dispatched by the first wave.
Is it I didn't ever roll my 6 thing, whatever the +6?
Yeah, you could. Let's see here. So, unfortunately, with the 1, it's going to half your battle ranking. So that would make it a 5. Like a 20 doubles at a 1 halves it. So you would have 5. Even with a D6 on that first one, it wouldn't work. These next 2.
Okay, that was the only one I was really concerned about.
Yeah. So this one, unfortunately, they were able to, like I said, they knocked 2 of the battle ranking off, bringing them down to a 9. The next one, my 14. You're 14. Goes against my 14. And now that you're a 9 and they're only a 6, so they managed to hold off one of them, and then you're down by 2 on the third attack. So if you want to try the D6 for them, now would be a good time. You just really don't want to roll 1.
Well, she didn't want it in the first place. I imagine.
Roll a 7, because that happened.
Well, you can't roll a 7 on a D6. I don't think.
Yeah, you need a 2 or better to win. If you want to use it. If not, then if not, then it's just a square loss. That they didn't win by enough. They won by 10 or less, so that you would lose 2 more battle ranking. If you don't want to use it, if you do want to use the D6, just roll a D6. You'll add it to yours. You have to get 2 or better.
I'm gonna try. That's all I can do.
Oh yeah.
Do your best.
Cha!
Yeah.
Dope.
There it is.
Hot 6.
Boom, baby.
So that turns the tide. Bruenor, you see that inspiration from Divot. You kind of see bouncing around, Divot inspired them with stories of the great gnome warriors and legends. And you see a couple of them, like, that's the last little bank they have to draw on in this moment is like, yes, remember legacy and legend. And they reinvigorate themselves with purpose from Divot's inspiration, probably an hour ago at this point. And yeah, they managed to hold them off. So they had some losses at the hands of 300 Spriggans, but all things considered, they did pretty well.
Oh yeah.
Cha!
So I'm gonna do the same thing I did here. I'm just gonna move these out of the way. So 1,
Appreciate.
and then same kind of thing. It's that same idea. Like again, your tokens aren't necessary. You're usually just with your unit. So They push forward. It's the same kind of thing, Thoricus. You're kind of standing there raged out. You know, the first wave starts running toward you, and you just like slash, crush, grab a dude, rip him in half. Like at first it's just nothing, and then there's just too many bodies, and they push you back, and you find yourself, you know, standing healed. You turn to your back, you know, prepared to strike, and it's, you know, it's the boys, it's the Gnome Reavers. And they are under attack, so they have really good battle ranking though. So go ahead and give me 2 battle ranking checks. You got 2 attacks coming your way. A 12 and an 8. They're both not in good shape.
Oh!
What did I do?
Yep.
Four crits.
Oh no, 20 and a 15. That sucks for them so much.
All right. So yeah, you with your crit, yeah, man, no problem. You're spinning tipsy-turvy top men in this little cyclone of doom that they're doing. It's so hard to find an attack point on it. It's so chaotic. It's just like swinging swords in all directions. And so as the Spriggan forces charge in and try to attack, you know, not having shields, but using their own form of defense, a good offense, they manage to hold the army at bay. Right where it's at. Man, that is that's the last of the Spriggans. So Powder up north and Rial, what do you do?
Man, they're in the wrong neck of the woods. They don't see Powder up north coming. So
No,
light
still
'em up.
completely hidden. You got like a 28 on yourself. No passive perception's fine in there.
It's ice pick time on these boys right here.
You hear that?
And the icicles and assorted sharp things that they just throw.
just
like you said,
cover
pick up and find anything. That's a sharp stick.
Yeah. Just
Anything.
throwing like steel soldiers up. It's the Monopoly guy. Ah, the car. The hat. Ah. All right, so yeah, the Powder up north. Yeah, go ahead and give me. You're gonna attack the one closest to you there, right? You see Doink, you know, holding it down, man, just like Doink, just swinging his rolling pin. You know, left hand perpetually sticky. I mean, let's look at this warrior. You know, the burning fire of battle in his icy blue eyes. You know, his offsetting dunce cap that whenever he swings falls over his eyes and makes it hard to see the next hit. In which case, he lets out a loud doink, leaning his head back, and it slides back into position. But quite a battle ready madman is Doink.
Dude, Powder up north admires that. I mean, he's like the old grandpa. If you don't just absolutely love him, you kind of pity him. So I feel like all the gnomes, like, it's Doink. Everyone's got their feelings.
Yeah, they're like, back up off Doink, bro!
Get away. Get the fuck out of the way. Get away from Doink.
Don't mess with my friend,
Blue.
bro!
You my boy, Blue.
Exactly, he's the blue.
All right, so yeah, you see the Powder up north. Go ahead and give me a D20. That's going to be a contesting battle ranking check. I can't knock. These guys are in pretty bad shape. You guys have tuned up the Spriggans pretty well. I'm proud of you.
15.
I made this to be very difficult. Sweet. All right, so yeah, they got a 2 against your 15. They got a 4. You got a 22. 22.
22.
All right, Rial. They effectively dispatched them. What do they do to these guys?
You know, God bless them. I taught them well. They're always so quiet. They're the quietest boys. You miss them so easy. But yeah, at the sight of Doink, they just kind of like spring forward, almost when Best Friend got stuck in the Krampus sack. It's like, no! It's pretty much them. They're like, Doink!
Like
And,
Rivet
leap
looking at his
out.
bomb.
Exactly.
We said we wouldn't talk about that anymore.
It's got a thing for bombs, bro. I don't know. That's what came out of my mouth, so I guess.
That was one time.
Look at my notes. That's not in there. All right.
I'm always going to be known as Thorisac.
All right, your boys, they creep up. You hear the whirring sound of all these pins. How do they dispatch them, Rial? I'm sorry, I cut you off.
Oh, no, you're totally good. They're just damn driven. Like, finally they make some noise and they scream out Doink's name and just come out, guns up blazing. They're little two boys.
All right, you see as the nearly 200 little ice picks and sharp cutlery and thumbtacks and all. You know, they had a lot of thumbtacks in the workshop. You always need thumbtacks. Just handfuls of hard thumbtacks cascade down upon this rank of Spriggans. Again, when they die, their bodies kind of turn to this weird, snowy mush. And you know, there's a couple pieces of wood with like golden runes on it and stuff that just kind of lays there in the mush. But they're pretty dead.
Gross.
And then Rial, what about your epic opportunity?
Oh man. Well,
Vaporia.
no, exactly. Well, I still have this form. Might as well take advantage of it. So I'm gonna jump back in the water, do a little swimmy swim, and spook this frost giant here. Just leap out of the water with these bonefish like chainsaw blade hands.
All right, yeah, he's of the. Just so you know, because you can reach both of them, the one in the back is actually like. I think the one in the back, if I'm not mistaken, is the one that has the hole through him from the ballista. He is like within your kill. You know, you're a killer, bro. You know how to end lives with precise attacks, and you just see that he's like so beaten that he's not defending his soft areas. You know, you're like, I get an arrow under the armpit, I can get a dagger across the throat. Like you're just counting. Let me count the ways. So yeah, if you wanted to, and that's up to you. The one in the back is in worse shape.
Oh, right there.
Yes, this one.
Okay.
On the back in the corner. Yeah, I'm sorry, not the one you're directly under, but you could reach him diagonally. No, these two are fresh. They're both at full. But this one.
And I love that thinking. He'll never hear me coming. And if I'm able to take him out and his colleagues right there and sees this thing just shoot out of the water and slice up his buddy he was there just a second ago.
How do they do them?
I kind of like the little spice. I like that flavor.
Yeah, you disappear under the icy water, you know, and the waves on the top of the water just stop and go calm, and you just see shifting pieces of ice and a couple of the various bodies and floating pieces of drift and snowwood. You know, suddenly there's a splash. They look over one way. There's nothing there. Splash, another splash. They look over the other way. There's nothing there. And then suddenly they look down, and you just shoot up at them with your dagger drawn. Go ahead and give me. Do you want to do it with your bow, or do you want to do it with the throat fucker, or with one of your daggers? How do you want to do it?
So I'm still in the Vaporeal form.
That's right. You have.
And that gives me the the natural weapons.
Yes.
I forget. I think it's like it's something.
I think they're +1 and they count as magic weapons. Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. That's
yeah.
Right there. Let's use those.
So yeah, go ahead and in that case it'll be because you're a dexterous fighter. You would use them with your dex. You would roll a d20 and then just add your proficiency modifier and your dex bonus.
And then just enjoy the rest of your life.
He's gonna make a contesting. He only has a 2, so he's got to roll pretty good.
Give it a 15.
He rolled a 2.
2.
Look at this. 1, 2, 2 2s. I've been rolling a lot of 2s. Is all I'm trying to say. It's making a liar of me right now. I only see 2, but anyway. There, 3.
Well, it's just fun to say though.
Rial, what with man? Yeah, even with that, they only rolled a 2 and they only have a 2. So you win. What's the? How do you use these magical claws to dispatch this 15-foot tall frost giant?
You know, he's a tall boy, he's a big boy, but I got just that perfect jump, like using this form and being able to like crush out of the water. And without me even knowing it, like even though Bruno was inspired by the form and turned into this dope-ass Super Saiyan Sea Serpent,
oh yeah,
I gotta get this from somewhere. Every artist is inspired. So this form I created is totally inspired by Bruenor. So I'm just like feeling that, and I'm like, what would she do like with this kind of opportunity? And just like, even almost like a serpent, like crack out of the water and get as high up on the giant as possible, and just start making my way down with the double.
Making my way downtown.
Yeah, you know, you strike at his neck to get him to raise his arm and grab his neck, when then you like hop down, shoot off his thigh, and drive into his armpit, which makes his arm fall this direction. As he's falling that way, you place your weapon down and he almost lands his own weight on it. You know, you're just hitting him like a pin cushion, making him fall and slide in different directions, each of them controlled by a strike of your own blade as you work your way as it folds basically in front of you, and then just collapses dead on the ground. The gray blood that you noticed in the first battle, you know, the first skirmish, just spilling out onto the ground around him.
So, and once his corpse falls and my feet touch the snow, touch the ice, I just lock eyes with the giant that's right in front of me. Just in this weird fucking form. Just...
All right, he gets a morale save because that scared me. He did good. He rolled a 15. He's okay. But I had to do it because I was like, "Ooh, all right, Rial. I see. Bruenor.
Worth a shot.
What's going on? Sergeant?
Bruno's just like, good. What? Focus.
Cha.
You say funky fuck?
All right. All right, so in this moment, you guys, you just watch as this, aquatic Vaporeal doom machine goes about tearing apart this giant in the back. The one that's in front of him, just like marching forward with a looking all tough. Suddenly, like turns and looks behind him, and you see him kind of like, ooh, gosh. You guys watch as on the horizon, Glacious, the sprawling 50-foot tall ice mountain, swirling blue and black magical ice. You see his blue eyes glow super bright. And as the flash kind of hits all of your eyes, you put your hand up for a second and you look and you watch as his entire body just starts melting into the ice beneath him. When you see the ground surrounding him starts to swirl with that black and purple magic cloud as that great wave that follows behind him begins to advance even more. You see the cloud like drawing in as this blue and black ice magic starts filling the entire canyon, going up the trees, crackling along the edge of the ice lake. You see this just wave of blue and black ice energy shimmering all across the ground. Suddenly, it all draws into the center of the ice lake, where you guys had exploded, this river of ice and doom, where all these Spriggan corpses are floating along at the top of the ice. You see as the blue and black energy just draws in and re-swirls up, and you see Glacious reform in the middle of the lake. As his great form comes into shape, as soon as his blue eyes pulse one more time, you see the lake freezes again. So, I think the worst part of this is that the real victim here is these blue squares.
No.
Oh,
We barely knew ye. No.
yes.
This square wants to make I'm leaving this little one down here just so we can remember
Thank
the time.
Yeah.
Bless thee. Bless thee.
Thank-
But yeah, you see the corpses of the Spriggans and some of the corpses of the masturbate that were floating. They all freeze and they turn into ice statues. Their bodies freeze cold as ice. Suddenly the kind of chaos maelstrom, Rial jumping in and out of the water, splashing around. Rial, you look back and you watch as the ice just re-freezes. Completely frozen the lake once more. Glacious, he raises the giant Ice Blight, the 20-foot sword of frozen eternity. And you see him call down a giant tornado of snow. So it's a cone of cold. But here's how we're gonna do it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Cone of cold is my favorite ice cream flavor.
All right, so this one's coming at you, boys. Bruenor, you turn and you see, again, kind of proud of your boys as they've stood up against, several waves of these Spriggans. You had the position you wanted. You had the ice behind you, the lake to your back, where you are a commander of water. You felt good in your position, but oh, how things can change in the Feywild. You see as this ice reforms and your position basically is just destroyed as you now have an enemy directly behind you. You see as the blue eyes focus down and you feel this intense drawing cold. And then as the swing of the Ice Blight comes down, you see a tornado of snow blast into your boys. And that's where we're gonna pick it up after intermission, guys.
Goddamn.
It's going to be an important role
Jeez.
coming up. Important role
This is
for your boys.
this is port shit.
Absolute
Bored
port.
shit.
All right, dudes. Holy crap. I'm gonna do this as fast as I can because I can't wait to get back to this. We like to do a nice little 10-minute intermission here. Do not forget to hydrate. Make sure you're drinking water all throughout the show. It's so good for you. Big water. We're still ready to talk.
It's coming at you, baby.
Big water right now is just like, man, it's
Big
like you're talking to
sunscreen
me.
too.
But seriously, please check out this incredible art. Oh my God, we have the most
Yes.
incredible freaking art. People have sent in some of the most amazing things. Check it out. Listen to the beautiful, amazing music that Sandy Stein makes. Look at the wonderful art. God, I love this. I love it. I love it. I love it. I can't wait to get back to it. Hang out 10 minutes here. Same. We're gonna. And then.
How we do it. How we do it. Glacious is way scarier without pants.
Hey, you
Yeah,
don't talk
right
about
on.
those pants. welcome back, buds, to WeeDnD, the pot positive live tabletop role-playing experience. I am thrilled to be back. I hope you guys enjoyed those sweet tunes and all that gorgeous freaking art. We love you guys. Please, if you want to submit anything to us, do it through the Discord, do it through Facebook, do it through Instagram, do it however you want. We will highlight your work on the show. Thank you so much. It is just a gift to see that work every week. It lights my fire, guys. So thank you so much. Big things are happening. So I think we're going to jump back in. Let me throw some tunes on from my... All right, guys, you look at the giant towering Glacious, now reformed, perhaps even taller than his original 50-foot shape. Now that he's drawn upon the ice magic of the lake nearby, he stands up, the giant Ice Blight, his sword with the blue glowing rune on the side, arcs through the sky. Behind it, a tornado of ice and destruction. Chaboys. It's going to be a battle ranking check. It's a pretty tough one.
Okie dokie, artichoke.
I got a 32.
Daddy. Ah!
That'll work.
That'll do it.
Man, Bruenor with these crits tonight. Oh. Holy crap. All right, so he got a 32. Bruenor, you got a 20 plus twice your battle ranking. Sorry, I should have done this better. 18 plus 20 is 38.
Hi. Welcome back, folks.
Successfully defend. You see as this giant tornado of ice comes down, you quickly jump to the center of their position and call them around you. You know, you see this circle of shields growing, you know, as we look down on from above it, you see the circle of shields just grow until it's one giant phalanx, but up in the sky. The tornado batters down on it with ice and wind and destructive magic, but his attack is not able to strike the... Dang, he's really strong too. That was a perfectly timed crit, Bruenor. You are the Chaboys managed to deflect the tornado of ice doom. So that's I mean that was his big money move. Ooh, the dice. They are a fickle mistress. All right, Thoricus, you see this, you know, tornado of ice doom just deflect off the shields of Chaboys across the side. Whereas other people are not quite so happy about where this position puts them on the battlefield. You are thrilled to be so close to this enemy, you know, not allowing him to slowly creep up on you. And your Battlemaster brain quickly begins, you know, assessing this new position. What do you and the Gnome Reavers do?
Are you're talking about the big ice dude or the smaller ice giant?
Yes. All of your enemies have kind of surrounded you at this point. Now the ice giant's obviously Glacious is in the lake itself, but yes, you also have a unit of Spriggans standing right in front of you, and the non-murdered frost giant standing to the side of you. So yeah, you're free to do it. You and your units square kind of interchangeable right now. So if you wanted to strike at the giant, you could. If you want to strike at the Spriggans, you could. If you wanted to fall back and strike at Glacious, you could as well.
Oh gosh. Well, there's so many options.
That's true.
Papa likes options. Okay. Well, I guess probably since I'm already here and all Super Saiyan'd up, I might as well just destroy some motherfuckers. Cause why not? I got time.
Yeah. The Spriggans in front of you do not look that great. They're one of the weaker remaining units.
I'm gonna be like, you know what? Papa's gonna flex one more time in front of these boys, and then we're gonna retreat on back closer to the fort, or not the fort, the workshop.
Awesome.
That's what it.
So you want them to kind of like fall back while you clear this field for them, so that, you know, they don't get the attack of opportunity on them or anything.
Right. That's
perfect.
That's hopefully
So you're raging pretty hard. You are not a barbarian. You've never actually functioned in this berserk rage before. And it's like you're trying to give the orders to your troops, but your teeth are like clenched shut. Your fists grip onto the heft of your axe so hard you're worried you might like leave fingerprints in it. You feel this source of pure rage, the likes of which you've never heard, but you manage to squeeze out 2 words: "Fall back!" And then you just let the rage take over you. You jump in. You see standing around probably 25 of these Spriggans. Give it to me, Thoricus. What do you do?
Oh God.
You roll with advantage, but it's like so give me 2d20 with advantage. We'll see how many you kill. But they're in pretty bad shape, and you're in pretty good shape. So.
Well, thank you. Gosh, you're so kind.
You work out, bro. It shows.
Not really, but I feel good. I feel good. So yeah, before I fall back with my troops, with my Gnome Reavers, I would like to attack the Spriggan unit that's not looking so good below me, and turn them into Soul Slaw.
Nice. Give me 2d20.
Let's do it.
You get advantage. Got that berserk.
Gosh, shoot, brought my readers. Well,
The gods are with you guys. Holy crap!
Shit.
I'm already so high.
Thoricus coming through again. All right, bro. You look at this. There's a 20 and then a 7 and then a 20. That's amazing. I can see 2 20s on this one screen right now. All right, so Thoricus, how do you kill 25 people? Go.
With panache. I give him the old razzle dazzle. You know what I mean?
Razzle dazzle.
You guys get it. You talk on this side, they don't see what you're saying on this side. Whack-a-dee-doo. Yeah. I do a little vaudeville,
Allow the WB.
play me off, exit stage left, just wipe them all out.
Just a ton of little canes go whoop, boom, and pull them off.
How
Right,
Thoricus
like, see,
invented
boys,
blood.
we can kill people and have fun. Whack-a-dee-doo. And then we
You're
just,
doing like a ventriloquist with your arm just like up one of them.
This is why we don't let Thoricus josh that often, because this is what happens when he
I'm-
joshes.
Restricted
bad.
joshing.
He can't josh. He joshes too hard.
You're like, is it like you're all raging? Is this how we josh? Is this?
You know what? I did forget how pumped up I was. That was my fault. That's my bad.
No, the
That was
idea
always-
of a dude frothing at the mouth with like rageful intensity, doing like one of the like a grapevine, was killing me.
Yes, right?
Little Charleston, like oh.
So, yeah.
All right, so you have successfully dispatched the unit of Spriggans. I'm gonna move Glacious so we can move your troops. How far do you want them to fall back? They could use their action and dash. They could move 8 if you wanted them to.
Oof. Yeah. So. Oh, sorry. I meant to just. Yeah. So I could get to like there.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah.
I
You're
like it. And the rest of my units in good old Doink.
Oh, Doink's. Doink's the last one to leave because he's got to take a couple
he is.
last swings with that handy rolling pin.
Doink likes to party.
Doink! You see him just splat the head of one of these things, his crazed wild. It really is worth revisiting. Nice, insane. He's got a couple teeth and he's not taking great care of them.
No.
And a little bit of stinky taffy just clogged in his white powdery beard. But yeah, you see his rolling pin is just caked with this snowy slush. He's actually done quite a number. He's enjoying being with the Battle Reaver or the Gnome Reavers. and he's apparently pretty good at this. So yeah, you guys fall back to that position there, and yeah, that's the Gnome Reaver. So which brings us to Chip Boys.
Boys, making me proud. I am a proud daddy. They are men. I am such a proud daddy.
I am the commander.
I am the commander. So I would like to help Chaboys fall back by stepping kind of in front and defending them while they go back towards the workshop. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Kind of regroup and kind of get themselves together, but I'd like to kind of step in the way of any of these little shits that might come after them.
So basically it would function with your epic opportunity would be granting them like a disengage. You know what I mean? So you run up, and the ones that are trying to bite at their heels, you kind of dispatch them gloriously as they retreat. I'm down with that. If that's what you want to use your epic opportunity for, yeah, that's great.
Yeah. I need to help Chaboys out. Me and my Brian man are here to help these guys so they can fall back while we continue and press on.
Heck yeah, you see Brian the Dracodile, kind of looks over at you, like the end of a Lethal Weapon movie when they got to do it just one more time. You guys kind of look over, and Eric Clapton just like, wow, plays on the guitar, and you look at each other and just kind of give the like, we're getting too old for this shit, nod at each other, and then you charge off, and Brian's wings open up, and he just starts grabbing at the legs of some of these Spriggans that are trying to, attack Chip Boys as they retreat. But yeah, you and Brian, using your epic opportunity, are managed to create enough of a chaos between the three, units that are nearby to create enough gap between them that they can kind of sneak back away. They can also move 8 squares. You see Crumble, the most battle, of all of them, he's proving himself to be the most adept at this. Just swinging his giant hammer that's now got, like a little dent in the wood just from how many heads he's been braining people with. But yeah, Crumble just apologizing every step of the way, like, oh, sorry, I just knocked your leg off. And yeah, but yeah, your whole troop, you guys can move up to, you can either move 4 and try an action, or you could like attack and then run, if you wanted to do that with using your epic opportunity for them to disengage. Or they could just run 8 squares away.
They can run 8 squares away.
Dope. 2, 3, 4. And then do you want them to go north or south of this mountain here?
South.
Okay. I'm sorry, Glacious is so big that I'm gonna have to move them a lot. Enjoy yourselves. Enjoy
He's
yourselves.
very polite about it. He's just like, oh, okay.
He's made of ice. He's like, oh, here, go ahead.
Oh, excuse me, sorry.
I'm not a monster. All right, I am a monster. All right, we're having too much fun in the studio. That was like, we're having a moment right now, and you guys are here for it. All right, so yeah, you're the Chip Boys take their sleds, because they have sleds. Why wouldn't they? And they, all kind of pushing like skateboards. They just get down on their knee and with their little tiny legs, big feet, but tiny legs. They manage to slide away using the dash action with your disengage. You see Glacious, as after the sword kind of swings, he looks down as if considering to like, he's big enough he could reach them in this retreat. No. But you see Brian in the same moment kind of shoots up in the sky, like shoots a little fire, and just like draws his attention away. So that disengage worked for even Glacious's AOO. So nice.
Nice.
Would those be called snowboards?
Snowboards!
Yeah.
Oh man, the board that keeps on giving.
Mm-hmm. The motherboard.
Ooh.
Real time, people. That's how it happens.
Real time.
Real time. God, you guys.
The hit.
God, our farts smell so good.
I can't back that up.
We do this for us. I'm sorry. I laugh too much. All right. Dope. So yes, Chaboys, and yeah, utilizing your epic opportunity, Bruenor, you did manage to cloud the escape. Now because again, it's your epic opportunity, and you have Brian, you could kind of place yourself like where would you want to be right now? Do you want to be with them? Do you want to kind of be hanging out near the area where, like, near the forces where they could get at you? Do you want to be kind of closer to Glacious? Where do you want to land?
I think I want to, like, I defended the Chaboys as they were falling back, and I'd like to kind of be in the halfway mark in case something happens and I have to kind of get to them. So I just kind of want to fall back this way a little bit, put a little distance between me and these, other dudes.
Yeah.
I don't need these dudes, but I want to be close enough that if anything happens, I could help Chaboys.
Right.
And then I also am trying to take the focus of this big, terrible nightmare.
Nice.
Just being brave.
Yeah.
Looking down at you, this guy.
Yeah.
Shout outs to.
I want to yell out to it. What happened to your pants?
You take damage. I'm kidding. I'm not that kind of DM. He's like, those pants sucked and this new art is dope. Thank you, Giuseppe Greenberg. You're amazing.
They look great. You look
Giuseppe
awesome without
for
them.
life.
I support your decision to not wear pants. Good for you.
Yeah, right. Pants suck.
Yeah, fuck
Duh.
pants.
All right. Yeah, but like fuck pants for real. That's why we do the show.
Yeah.
None of us are wearing pants.
No.
Pants.
Zero
The young
pants.
is a pants.
Zero pants.
Bears the day I was born.
Smooth.
Sisterhood of the Traveling No Pants.
Yes. That's the next D&D campaign right there. It's a bunch of Winnie the Poohs.
Oh, bother.
That's a weird game.
Oh.
All right. Jumping back in.
Oh, yeah.
The too blessed to be stressed. Your moment has come. Now, since I'm gonna use this moment. So what's gonna happen? Curie's gonna re-engage Glacious. So because well played between you and Divot, Glacious's attention is actually going to be diverted. You see that swirling cloud of dark and light energy once more beginning to gather as Securi looks up at Glacious once more, pulls his blade, and shoots toward the sky. You see the Sword of Dawn, even though much smaller, able to meet and connect with Glacious's giant Ice Blight blade. You see the sun burning in the sky, still the wavy echoes of the air of the Feywild all around you. You know, the battle has resumed. This time, Securi, aided by this Fey Mist armor. You see him kind of, very much Dragon Ball Z, just like phasing in and out, like, swinging, and you hear the clashing of the blades. But yes, Glacious and Securi are once more back engaged in combat. So that was the payoff of your last epic opportunity, which brings us to Too Blessed to be Stressed and Tynna Smoothhands. What do you do?
Well, I see him engaged in combat, and I remember that I feel this strange connection to this Feywild energy and this strange inclination to control it as well. So I tap into my goddess Shantia, of course, but this time I'm tapping into her energy with this Feywild energy in mind. So I'm going to, this is my epic opportunity. So I'm going to cast Spirit Guardians, and I want to summon my Spirit Guardians through Shantia's light and energy, but I want to see if I can harness this twisted, this wild, this fun energy at the same time, and include Securi in this protection at the same time, if I may.
All right, so yeah, utilizing your epic opportunity, like the grant that it would give you. Spirit Guardians it casts around you typically, but using this kind of like Feywild trickery, you're like, yes, and you're kind of looking. You see those wild clouds of purple and blue mist on either side of this burning star, and you feel that crackling at your fingertips, and your eyes kind of focus in. And you feel, you can give him these Spirit Guardians. So what do you want him to look like? Curie, we're going straight Dragon Ball Z on this image. It's like this giant, massive ice sword is just swinging in arcs of blue frost magic. Curie just like disappearing from sight in this pink armor. Just jumping around. And then suddenly you see your Spirit Guardians shoot out from him. What do they look like, Tynna?
Well, they look just like they've looked like before. They look like the roses popping out of the ground, but thornier than ever before. Iridescent, shiny, cracked, and appearing in and out almost vapor-like, crazy, just like the Feywild energy.
I love it. You see, it's almost like a cylinder underneath this burning star in the center, as you see these icy rose petals start coming up from the ground, and about 3 feet into the air as they start to swirl around Curie as he dances around Glacious, you see they start blooming into red rose petals, shooting out these thorn whips that are just cutting and scraping at this giant ice body that is Glacious. It's hard to gauge if he's taking damage. He's if you can see, he's bigger than some of the surrounding mountains, but you see as these thorn whips wrap around him and cut into him, and it slows the blade, and Curie's able to, catch a little space. But yeah, so now there's this like swirling maelstrom of like rose petals underneath this burning star as these two great generals face off on this frozen lake.
I don't know about you, but I'm super thorny.
Thoricus.
Thoricus.
Ooh, man, I love D&D so much. All right, that's tight. All right, Tynna, that was a sweet, epic opportunity. It's gonna, just so you know, it did. I know I said it, it's like, you can't tell if it did damage. It did. You see, it does. It affects his pretty high battle rating, and also allowed Sir Curie to kind of regain his footing and jumping into the battle again. So, I mean, your last 2 epic opportunities have done quite a bit at stopping the giant 50-foot ice monster that seems bent on your destruction. So, dope. And then what do you want the unit, the 2 blessed, to be stressed? Do you still want him holding fast, or do you want him to advance? What are you thinking?
Now, I haven't heard any signal. Nobody's heard any signal, but I know Hiccup's up there, and I see him. He's got itchy fingers, but holding fast. They're holding fast and true.
Yeah, you've got smooth hands. He's got itchy fingers.
But I've got smooth hands.
Together.
Staying true, holding fast.
Yeah, you see Hiccup, up on the thing, overlooking. He's got the goggles actually pulled down now. He's in prep mode, and he wants truly to prove his merit in this battle. More than just a quartermaster believes our man Hiccup. And you see next to him Rivet, just kind of like softly clawing the side of this barrel, just like, oh, and remember, it's Big Bertha. It's got Bertha written in paint on the side. And he's just like admiring his handiwork very handily. So yeah, you see your 2 generals are up there ready when the signal's given. It actually, as much as Glacious kind of jumping half the map worked out to his advantage, he doesn't know that you have a giant holy bomb that he's now exposed himself to. All right. So yeah, they're ready though. Remember, like I said, they act. You don't have to wait till they're around in initiative, Tynna, because of the way you did it with Hiccup's action. It's like they are. Give the signal. That'll happen.
Okay. Well, since Glacious has wandered so wonderfully in my path, our path, like this.
That was supposed to be like, oh, you're all screwed now. Look at what he did. And then I was like, oh,
yeah.
Gosh, no, there's the giant holy bomb that they made.
Yeah. Well, Hiccup's up there, and I'm gonna make eye contact with him, and I'm gonna give him the signal.
You see, like, he's like frozen for a moment, he's just like, and he looks down, and you see Rivet, a small tear starts to flow down his face as he knows the inevitable moment. And you see Hiccup, he gives you a nod, takes one of the scrolls, tucks it behind his back, and you see he starts putting his hand down, and he's like, and then he accidentally hits the button, and you see the ballista launch, moments before he had planned to fire. You are gonna give me this is don't worry, there's not like disadvantage on that or anything. That was just because he's cute. Give me a D20 on this. Remember, the ballista's got a nice +10, so you're gonna add 10 to this. And just to make sure, like I said, really you just don't want to roll a 1. That's pretty much it.
Does Rivet's +2?
I add +10 to that, so 29.
29.
Nice.
All right. You see Bertha, you know, as Hiccup accidentally hits the button, the great twang of the ballista snap sends it flying in the air. You know, in all sorts. Even though all of you are engaged in really epic moments, even Thoricus, through your, you know, rage-filled lust right now, you can't help but be like, and look over at it. You see Bertha, you know, twice the payload of the original bomb that you used to break the lake, shooting through the air. Now, Glacius, so big is his body, you know, you can't really target the lake like you had before, but it just smashes directly into the part that is his head. You see the blue eyes flash blue for a moment, just as this giant holy bomb blows into it. Tynna, I want you to roll 5d4.
5.
You know, unlike the last explosion of just fire and black powder, this one is imbued with holy light. And so you see as it explodes, there's almost like a sonic concussion of holy energy that blows out right where his head is. Landing 10.
Ooh.
You see the top half of Glacius fall off. And standing there are just his giant 2 ice legs in the middle section of his torso.
Pantsless.
You know, you all shield your eyes from the light of this extreme blast. You look forward, and you see his torso begins regrowing. And once more, the shoulders pop out of the center torso. The head reshapes, the eyes flash blue light. But he's only about 20 feet tall now. He is like more than half, he's like more than half of his original size. Now, not quite the same looming doom impression to the center of the ice. And in a strange moment, you also notice as this concussive blast blows this holy light, it sends this beam of arcing holy energy back to the east. And you see the purple and black cloud of smoke begins blowing away as the holy light pushes against it. The battle is turning.
Oh, these beams?
Holy.
All right, Tynna, that's the end of your super dope turn.
I just want to
Thank you for making
that.
it so dope. Yeah.
Yeah, real shit, my joint went out because I was just like,
Yeah.
and then what?
There's dope sauce on it.
Yeah, you put some extra
We
dope
just
sauce
put a little
on it.
extra dope sauce in there. That's so dope. All right, so that brings us to, man, they're not. It's their turn,
Hey,
but they're all
I
dead.
thought they were dead.
But they're all
why
dead.
do this?
In
Which brings
memoriam.
us
Why did you make me feel bad about this?
to the Frost Giants. Now again, you guys have seen, these guys have an instinct to protect themselves. They don't seem as eager to die as like the Spriggans, which just march forward into the Murderita and keep pushing toward the workshop or the key or whatever can give them a position of power within the ranks of Queen Mab's army. These Frost Giants, you see them, all 3 of them kind of stop at the same time and like look at each other. You know, the 2 in the front are like, ugh, pull their clubs back out. You know, they're ready to go. The one in the back is like, and just starts running toward this swirling black cloud of magic. As he reaches the border, you know, he uses his dash action, and he reaches the point to where the purple and black cloud is. He starts trying to run through it, and you see these black and purple lightning bolts just rack his body. And he turns into dust.
See, that's why you don't desert your team.
Fuck around, find out.
Yes,
Yeah.
Queen Mab, particularly not to be trifled with.
That's karma fucking with you.
Got him. All right. So the 2 that do remain, Powder Up North is too close to have stealth, so they're just gonna walk up and try to wall up on Powder Up North. That one's dead, so he doesn't. But that one's gonna go ahead and give it a try. So give me a battle ranking check, D20 plus your I rolled a 1. What the?
Oh.
frickin'?
Are you?
I got a
20!
What?
Oh, God!
Wait, we gotta do both. So it's like we'll start with the deep.
Oh,
And
God!
then we'll go with that. Oh, you saw it here first, guys. Back-to-back crits. One bad, one good. All good.
Guys, I
Really, there's
am
not a bad
so
one.
high. This is unfair.
I'm gonna smoke one.
Dude,
I'm
I'm
gonna
gonna write a
drink
letter
one.
to Roll20 and be like, why do you hate my guys?
Hydrated.
Yeah, let's hydrate too.
Real shit, hydrate. We've been smoking a lot tonight, guys.
Fuck. I
good
need to
for
grab a
pipes,
water
too.
during the break.
All right.
So I'm guessing
So-
their attack didn't work.
Yeah, Rial. You actually see, he attempts to just turn around and club, and he swings at what appears to be like a perfect mass of like several of these little guys. And as his club swings through them, they're all just snowmen that your dudes had built real quick, and they're actually hiding feet away. So you just see as all the snowmen get blown to the side, and you're like, wait a minute, those aren't people. And yeah, your troops so wise, in the moment took their opportunity to set up a little trap for him, and he swings at these snowmen. He does, just so you know, he eviscerates those snowmen though.
Good for
It
him.
is snow, dog. Like,
I'm proud of the
One on
boys
the
though.
attack,
I'm so
20 on
proud
the
of them.
defense.
Oh my god.
This guy is gonna back up. If I was him, I'd be like, "Where's Glacious? I'm gonna hang out with Glacious. He's a cool guy." 1, 2, 3, 4.
Whoa.
So Bruenor,
Mister.
because of your decision to leave your troops, he is gonna throw a rock at you, and we're gonna go back kind of into like just traditional Dungeons and Dragons. What's your AC? He gets +9 to this.
1 second.
No, you got a 20 AC.
I have 20.
You have a 20?
I have 18,
Oh,
and it says /20, so I think I get the 20 when I'm like defending,
That's
and I'm
right. When you
18
use
normally.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So, man, yeah, if you have a 20, that's on the die. Well, he does hit because he got a 20.
A dick.
So, in this case, it does. Ooh, it's pretty big damage.
What the?
yep.
What a dick! Don't worry, I got temporary hit points. What the hell? What's gonna happen? Lay it on me!
13.
What else you
20
got?
Plus
Don't.
Still counting.
26 bludgeoning damage.
What else you got?
Oof, oof.
He
I
manages
was like,
to.
oh no, it's taking a while. It's a lot.
He like shot puts he's like trying to track your line of movement as you fly on the back of Brian. He shot puts this. That was almost it. He shoots this rock over at you.
It's
So, yeah.
still good. It's still good.
You got all that health though. These fighters,
It's
you guys
just
are
a
okay.
little airborne. It's still good. It's
Dude,
still
that's
good.
them.
Yeah.
So
fine.
stone giants are up.
Let me ask you this. 1, 2, 3, 4. Is he in range now? He's like floating over that 5th.
Yes. Yeah, he would be of that one. The back one, your other giant would have to kind of like move forward to reach him. But yeah, if you wanted to hit him, like I said, he's not. I made him. I've had to move him around a bunch, but he's pretty much dead center in this lake. So yes, you would be able to hit him from where the front giant is there.
All right. Well, I had given the giants instructions that if anything came within range, they were to attack.
So there's
Right.
So I
that.
suppose this would be that.
This is that. Yeah.
Mm.
That checks out.
And then Divot, noticing that attack is happening, is going to try to use that opportunity, that distraction as an opportunity.
You
Dope.
could certainly try.
Yeah, you're still invisible. Again, like I said, it feels like Glacious is always looking at you, but he's not making any shifts or movement towards your position, Divot. So, you're invisible as far as you know. You don't see anybody, like, looking right at you or anything. That purple cloud in the back of the valley doesn't seem too impressed by your invisibility. But, other than the swirling maelstrom of evil magic, like, everything else seems to not be able to see you.
Okay, so let's say that I come to here, and I'm still invisible, and I see that Bruenor just got injured or whatever, and I'm like, no, they hurt my sister. I'm like, we have to figure out some way to end this, and I'm trying to figure out what beast I want to turn into to fight this thing. And then, at the last second, I'm like, wait a minute. And I have an idea.
Oh.
And I cast Sculptor of Flesh, but instead of using it to turn myself into a monster to fight this monster, I want to use it to turn this creature, this Glacious, into a snail.
All right. So that's polymorph, yeah?
Yes.
Go ahead and cast it because he gets a save.
Yeah, I believe it's a wisdom saving throw.
All right, let me check the stats. I'm not. Maybe wisdom might not be his hottest stat. It's not terrible. He has +2.
It's terrible.
Oh, he has +4. All right, so DC 16.
Oh man.
All right.
Oh man.
I'm taking off the DM so you guys can all see it because this is kind of a big moment here. So
Oh,
here we go.
oh man.
+4 to this.
Come on!
With
Let me
rolling a
ask you this.
13, adding 4, he gets a 17.
Okay,
Passes.
do I don't get to like add my troops inspiration to that or anything?
God, unfortunately, no. This is a spell saving. This is like between you and him. That was a tough roll, but he managed to pass.
Yeah.
Fuck! Bean.
Damn it.
Yeah, I'm just double checking. Yeah, he doesn't have any like weird penalties or anything. But yeah, hey, could have gone the other way. He could have been a snail. So,
Oh my goodness.
I mean,
Isn't that like life?
I wanted to make sure you guys could see the roll. I wanted it to be fair and just everything out in the open. But yeah, unfortunately,
Well,
he did pass his saving throw,
yep.
Divot.
Word. Word. Well, that would probably be my turn then.
You still have the go ahead and do the giants. You have their both their.
yeah.
You're right. You had a ready to action to throw those stones.
did.
So they'll get two. You actually get 2 attacks with each of them because it's their turn now. So they would get to throw their stones 4 times. So do the what is the stone throw for them? Let me just.
You know, I don't think I have access to them right now.
Okay, I got you. Let me take a look here. Boom, within 5 squares we did that. If it wins, it subtracts 1. That's how their ranged attack works. It just subtracts battle rating from him, so it's useful for sure. Go ahead and make a battle ranking check. We're doing opposing checks here. Every time you beat me, they lose a battle ranking. So he gets to add, right now, 14 to this. So you got a 29 on the first one. Go ahead and roll a d20. Ooh, nice.
18. Yeah.
Heck yeah. So 18 plus. They get plus 10, so 28. He actually won. I'm sorry. Yeah, that's he's got plus 14. They've got plus 10. So he beat on one.
Yeah.
The first one didn't do it. Go ahead and let's do it again. We're gonna do 4 of these. So boom. He beat you the second time. Let's do it again. God, I'm rolling hot. 17. And then the fourth one. Here we go. One more time. Yeah, so these stone oh gosh, you know what? They have advantage though. Roll 4 roll 4d20 one more time. Because remember they're attacking from stealth.
Oh yeah.
Because they haven't moved. That was part of your plan and attack. That's only fair.
Didn't Ribbit give them some sort of a boon?
The giants? I don't think so.
Oh wait, no, that was Rial's group. Sorry.
Yeah, Power Up North. That's how they filleted those dudes. Okay, so one of those actually now becomes a hit. So one of them, unfortunately, he rolled really hot. I'm sorry, I rolled a bunch of 17s. So yeah, Glacious, still this massive force of magic, repelling the magic of you trying to reach into him and change his form. Once more, if you'll recall, you had a little trouble sneaking into his mind with Dissonant Whispers too. You're kind of baffled by the strength of this creature, Divot. Normally, especially with your pact with death, now that you've augmented yourself with some warlock powers, you've been able to kind of control some of these situations with relative, not to say ease, but to have a little finesse over the battlefield. This is one creature that has now cast away 2 of your strongest spells. That was just hot rolls of the dice, but still, notwithstanding, it's a little bit of a humbling moment for you as you see this massive creature in front of you just cast off that and then knock away a series of rocks being thrown at him. One of them does manage to land. You see it blow off a piece of his shoulder, and unlike last time, it doesn't reform. Now he's just like missing a piece of one of his shoulders. He's pretty
so in
damaged.
this moment, when I tried to cast Sculptor of Flesh, it breaks my concentration on my invisibility.
Yeah.
So they're like right in between Bruenor and Glacious. I just like pop up and I'm like, shit, fuck.
Come on, bro.
Yeah, you see his hands, skeleton hands, like burning with magic, and he's like trying to cast this great spell, but it's not doing the thing, and he's just looking back at you, Bruenor.
See this fucking guy.
Hey, brother.
All right, Silent G's, do they want to do anything?
So yeah, I think the giants engaging is enough for the Silent G's to come creeping to the forefront, but not get involved. Like here-ish, like in the tree line still.
Sweet, yeah. Still stealthed. Nobody right now. It's against passive perceptions. So you guys are pretty solid. You've laid in wait. You've set this trap well. So sweet. All right, dope. Now it's the Spriggans. You see the army kind of like looking at this situation. Some of these heroic, epic people. They've seen the Sea Serpent. They've seen Divot on the mountaintop causing avalanches, and then they have their own force of magic, and they seem inclined to kind of go with him. So they run onto the ice now that it's frozen. They're able to move with relative finesse over the ice. You see they kind of reform their position as the spear front to this attack. In this moment, one of them would... no, that would be their dash too. So they don't even have an attack to attack the illusion of the giant that's there. But yeah, they're pretty close to it now. So they'll, it's like this illusion probably won't last long. But you see him kind of charging at this giant to pave the way for Glacius's movement. The other ones are all dead. Never mind. Thoricus killed a whole bunch of them. So yeah, that's what happens. They charge up, preparing to confront this illusionary giant, the meat of your trap here, and running up toward the ranks of the Gnome Reavers, Thoricus, an enraged berserking Thoricus, doink, and meanwhile Circuri the whole while floating around battling Glacius. Powder up north. What do you do?
Yo. So I definitely heard my best angry friend say, "Fall back." I don't know what's going on, especially all this crazy shit going on. So we're gonna cut through the trees, unit-wise, Powder up north, and Powder, the man himself.
Yeah, I got it.
And if I cross behind the frost giant that's still there, I kind of attack. Like, would I have to disengage that? Does he have eyes on me at all?
So, because you are behind him, he did witness the massacre. We gave him a morale check, so he is privy to you being there. If you wanted to use your action to disengage, well, you have your rogue cunning action. So if you wanted to do your cunning action to disengage, he wouldn't get an attack on you.
Sweet, yeah, definitely want to do that.
Very handy use of the rogue cunning action is to pop in, attack, disengage, and run away. It's a handy little feature.
It's a beautiful thing. We're definitely making our way back to the workshop, so I'm going to post up kind of hidden in the mountains. They're hidden in the trees.
Perfect. Give me a stealth for them. They get it. Remember, they get advantage because they're in the trees. That was good to move them back to where they get the environmental advantage. So 2d20 for them, and they add 5 to that. So yeah.
17.
Nice. So with the advantage, They get the 17 plus 5 is 22. So they have a great stealth. They basically, disappear. You see powder disappears with them. They all once more disappear behind the trees, and they're immediately gone. Rial, you go ahead and give me a stealth check for you too, just to see if that frost giant notices you as you prance away behind the mountain there.
I gotta tell Powder, stop saying your name. Like, just cut it out. It's not working for you, dude. Powder.
You see his eyes open. Powder.
Damn it.
He's a rebel.
Yeah, well, that's what we love about him, man. All right, so we got ourselves a 24.
Yeah, pretty good there. Nice.
All right.
That's pretty good.
Oh.
Yeah, you're
right.
stealth, Rial. that's really good. So yeah, you see the frost giant's just like, yeah, I've got to worry. I've got Glacious. We're charging this middle. As far as they're concerned, your troops are falling back. Perhaps the coming wave of magic and the presence of Glacious has turned the tide for them. They're pushing onward, and so he doesn't, turn around and manage to bother with you at all. So yeah, you disappear behind the mountains. Anything else? Did you have anything else you want to do this round, Rial?
Epic opportunity-wise, would it be too much to cast a cantrip
No.
as I'm behind the mountain?
Heck no. Go ahead.
Fuck yeah. All right. So I'm getting the same vibe as everybody else. I hate those painting eyes that Glacious has. Feels like he's looking at all of us at the same time. You just can't get out of that. But
Tickle in your neck.
while he is made of ice, I want to try and whip up. I'm thinking of the perch. I'm thinking of every other time, and I want to up it and create bonfire right around that stupid fucking ice face.
Fuck that stupid ice face.
Nice.
Now floating
Nice.
25 feet in the air rather than 50. This still bigger than any of the mountains surrounding you. Not the the biggest ones at the end of the corridor, but the small ones on the battlefield. Still larger than those. Go ahead. Give me a create bonfire. We'll do.
Bonfire.
He gets a dexterity saving throw, which he's gonna do. When you guys use spells, it'll kind of function similar to how it does in D&D, and then it'll work out on the macro scale. So his dex isn't good, obviously. Big giant. Imagine that giant ice creature of doom, not particularly dexterous. Not playing
Crazy.
not playing the bass guitar. All right, he rolled a 1.
His misfortune also my misfortune.
Bad for him, great for us. Oh man.
Oh god.
Dope. All right. He's not doing the Charleston. So yeah, with a 1, he obviously failed. So you're gonna knock 2 off his battle ranking there, Rial, because of how badly he botched that rather than just 1.
Can I throw some flavor into that too as I'm running back?
Please do.
I want to because I'm out of the water at this point. I love fucking Vaporeal, but as I shed that magic and return to my normal form, that magic just goes right in the fingertips and makes that flame.
Yeah, you kind of gather the magic that's surrounding your body, creating this altered image, and you channel it into your hands and shoot out, almost like a sonic boom, or an Hadouken. You just shoot out this fiery burst of magic, summoning it right in front of those pearly blues. You see they flash. You manage. You see the blue eyes that you all feel watching you disappear. And now, yes, the scorching burn, the loss of battle rating on Glacious, but no longer does Glacious have these searing blue eyes that permeate, the battlefield around you. Sorry, I dropped in the wrong one there. But yes, no longer. Now the only burning space of blue ice magic is the soul, the core, the divot you yourself have come in contact with before when you tried to plant that magic in it. But yeah, Glacious, old blue eyes, no longer.
No eyes.
Good old Mickey Few Eyes.
Snow eyes there.
Not doing a lot of jazz clubs anymore. Okay. So, Rial, super successful epic opportunity. And yes, you've managed to remove those eyes of his that were blighting. As you hit it with some magic lightning. All right.
Instead of Betty Davis eyes, I want Betty Glacious eyes. Can his first name be Betty now?
Betty Glacious
Coming
eyes.
with the fire tonight, guys. I love it.
Yes.
Oh, heck
Oh,
yeah.
that stupid ice face is on fire.
Stupid ice face.
Stupid ice face.
Stupid ass ice.
All right, so dude, that's successful. You guys are having some pretty sweet rounds here with all these free crits and my ones all the time. It's turning. Be careful. Gnome Reavers and Thoricus. Onyxheart, you're up.
Oh, he's ready to do it. He's doing it.
That's how you do Berserk in real life. You take a swig of Mountain Dew, and that's like real life Berserk.
I wish we still had Surge, but
Oh, man. I have a great story about Surge, but we'll tell it another time.
anyway, that's what I can get.
I drank too much.
So, if I may, I would like to ask you a few questions.
Yes, no.
I know you said you want us to like do epic moments and stuff like that, and we can certainly try to roll and inspiration points and yada yada yada. I know all these things exist, but I really wish I would have had a chance to speak to you during the break to ask you this question, but I hadn't thought of it yet until we were already doing stuff.
Hit me.
So I'm just gonna try and put it out there. It'll probably not work, but whatever.
Well, I mean, you're not selling it too great right now.
What?
You're gonna need to do better than that if you want it. It's not good. You're not gonna like it, but just I'm gonna throw it at you. I believe in you. Hit me with it. What do you got?
So what I want to try to do is, because I'm already powered up into like Berserker Super Saiyan mode, and I see security and Doink next to me, I want to try to do like a fusion Nasan and like bring all of us into one super powerful being, like muscled out dwarf with a big pointy hat and just white and muscles, and then big bunny ears and like buck teeth, kind of mesh of a super warrior type thing. Is that a thing?
Like a puppet
How
man,
dare you
like
think I
our
wouldn't think that was
3D
amazing?
face.
I
All
knew
right.
you were gonna read it.
I'm gonna Thoricus. I'm gonna take that and I'm gonna offer you one better.
Ooh.
If you'll notice in initiative right now, the Gnome Reavers are up, followed by Chaboys, followed by 2 Blessed to be Stressed. So there is a potential, if you would like, to, yes, do this super fusion attack, to also bring in Chaboys, Bruenor, Brian, 2 Blessed to be Stressed, and Tynna Smoothhands. But you guys got to spend some freaking magic for me. So that's my trade-off. I will let you do this super epic, probably the most epic team attack we have ever done. But I mean, yeah, you blow me away, and you might blow him away.
Okay, so you're talking about Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta, like
Burning sun in the sky.
extra spirit bomb, like planet-sized, universe-destroying kind of attack with all of us, and with our powers combined.
All right, wait. Silent G's and Divot are also. The Stone Giants are also in this.
Everyone has to sign off on
I'm
this?
sorry, Rial. It's literally everybody but the Powder Up North and the Stealthy unit. You guys are hiding while all this. That's what happens to stealthy characters. You're like 2 rooms away from the stuff that happens. But no, this combined team attack. All right, guys, this is going to be a treat. The you can pull this off. Tell me what happens right now. You see the stage is set. A purple black swirling of magic is now retreating rather than advancing. You've seen it devour its own troops that try to run away. You look around at the slaughtered bodies of Spriggans to the north, to the south, frozen as ice sculptures in the middle of this lake. Glacious steps over their frozen corpses and they shatter into ice. You see the last spear of the attack of the army of Queen Mab. 300 Spriggans, 2 frost giants, a 25-foot tall creature of blue and black ice magic. What do you do?
Well, I would like to ask someone that I'm so proud of recently, who has just really grown into their own. My fellow warrior, Bruenor, would you please hop on the back of Brian and give our army a Braveheart-style speech while trouncing around on Brian as he's just happy as shit, and losing control of him, and just give us the inspiration, because I mean, I'm not so good on the math thing right now, but we started this battle off more than half of what they had, or less than half of what they had, correct?
Correct.
And now I would have to assume, numbers-wise, it looks like we might have the advantage, so doesn't look so bleak to me, but I just think you can chaw us into the right state of mind.
Oh, okay. Well,
I'll give you
excellent.
shots.
What I would like to do is I would like to hop on Brian, but I would like to reach my arm out for Divot and ask if he would like a ride.
Hell yeah.
Of course.
Excellent. So I do Predator, grab him by his forearm, and we fly up. And then we put him on the back of Brian, and I want to fly up into the sky and kind of look back at everyone, boys kind of making their way around the back of the mountain now to get to the front of the workshop. I see a Mercury over there, and I can also see Thoricus and his folks up as well, and all of our giants. And I just want to look down at everyone that's left, and kind of everyone that's left on the other side as well, and back at Divot and be like, we can do this for the workshop, and we can do this for ourselves, but we're fucking doing this!
And you see even more than just Chaboys, but also the silent G's, stealth, but still throwing their voices to not give their position away. You even hear the super silent Powder up north, real quick, just a little one. They just sneak it, and then they move to another tree just to be safe. But yeah, you hear as the troops, bolstered by this it's time to do this. You see they basically are ready. So it's they're ready to storm forward.
Excellent. Well, so I want to, as I'm announcing stuff, I'm giving Divot a higher ground. So, because Divot, if we're all a team, right, it's hard for all of us to work together at once, but it's easy if we do, groups of stuff, right?
Yeah.
Because we each are strong, with our own thing. So I think if Divot and the folks kind of in our area, and I are getting that high ground, and then we have the giants as well, and we're kind of working to get the aggro of this guy while Thoricus is behind him, right? So we're working on aggro, Divot. I just want to give you a platform to be up high and to get a good look at this one. Just do your dirty work.
Yeah, so there we go. Bruenor, so we're the team attack camera shift, if you will. Bruenor, you inspire the troops and take Divot up in the sky. Divot, you're flying right now, probably 50 feet in the air, probably the highest you've ever flown in your life. You're kind of am I afraid of heights? Maybe a little bit. You're up in the sky. But what a marvelous stage has Bruenor set for you as the camera kind of shifts over to your function in this team attack. What are you doing? You remember, let's never forget the giant orb of rose petals that's floating around as Sercuri is teleporting back and forth, exchanging blows with Glacious as this army of 300 troops attacks in front of him. Go ahead, I just had to throw that in there.
Gus, I hate to interrupt. Is it cool if I ask a question real fast that might deal with this team attack element? So, would I have gotten any of that from the sending stones? Any trickle? Yeah, okay.
Bro, I always leave this thing on. Except that one time, and I told you.
Yeah, he's sending stones in all caps right now.
Perfect. Okay.
He's just making sure.
Just making.
So I want to do something pretty epic. I want to call to the giants that are in range as part of the team, and like connect with them, and I want them to throw their rocks like right above where the guy is, where the people are, and then I'm gonna plunge my hands, because we're so high up, into the cloud, and I want to use the energy in the cloud to like shatter all the rocks right above the guy, so they like fall on him.
Dope. Yes. Yeah, you see with your ability to communicate telepathically, Divot, you just send the message, and you guys, as long as they can speak, you can understand them. You basically tell him, stop shooting at, the chest of him, put it over top. You see both of them, are rather than throwing the ones that they can sustain and throw, they get the idea. They look around. You see both of them plunge their mighty, strong arms into the earth and kind of pull up a giant stone. And they manage to hurl it up onto their shoulder. And then you see him using the arc of the mountain to run down and build momentum. Their giant feet scuttling down this giant, snow-covered cliff edge. And they just throw these massive boulders into the sky as you gather the pink and purple mist from the sky of the Feywild and send your magic down. All right, I'm going to include that in the narrative. We're going to shift to who's next? Who wants their space in this next?
Me, absolutely. So I noticed that I'm still connected to this Feywild energy running through me, and I wonder if I can tap through that to, and my experience also with the Forge, to make my own holy bomb this time and contribute that to the team attack potentially.
Okay, yeah. All right, so yes, it's basically that same crackling energy that you managed to channel into the bomb that Rivet made. Maybe not quite so powerful without the black,
right,
powder payload behind it, but basically you're like, you call upon that, you feel that tickling in your fingertips, and you start summoning, basically a spirit bomb in front of you, this giant glowing orb of yellow energy. And it's not that same glowing yellow that you're used to when it's directly sourced through the river of Shantia's magic, but in this case, it's slightly, tainted, not tainted, but colored by the wispy purples and, and blue hues of the Feywild surroundings. So this orb is just building up in front of you. You begin casting it into the air. That will also be factored in.
Oh, yeah.
And before I cast it, I kind of play with the energy in my hands a little bit, and I kind of stretch it, and I notice that it feels different than Shantia's light. Like, this feels rubbery.
Ooh, yeah,
and
like taffy.
Yeah, and it's fun. And it's distracting. Like, it pulls my focus. Like, I'm enjoying it, and I probably shouldn't be. But
Yeah,
anyways.
you're watching as the orb gets bigger and bigger in your hands. You're more powerful than you've ever been at this point in your life, Tynna Smoothhands, and you are connected to this magical Fey wilderness that surrounds you. You've imbibed of the ganja grown of the roots of this place. This magic vibe has hit you probably harder than anybody else because of your innate connection to your surroundings. And as you're drawing on these surroundings to make this magic in front of you, you probably could have fired it 3 or 4 times at this point. You could have shot it, but you're almost like excited at seeing just how powerful you are now, looking at your leveled self, no longer the frail girl that ran away from her home, but the adventurer that forged a new life for herself. And you watch as this orb just keeps glowing and growing and growing in size, to your delight.
And then I shoot.
Yeah, exactly. Like a sneeze, it just feels good to let it go finally. You send the energy, almost, just to get it away from you a little bit too. Like, maybe I shouldn't keep toying with that high of a magic. This is my environment. And so you lob your giant Fey-tainted spirit bomb in the direction of Glacious. We move the team attack camera over. Rial, get in on this. I want all you guys in on this. I was like, how dare I? The whole time, that's all I've been thinking. I'm like, how can I just tell Rial he can't be a part of this? So whoever's next. All these things, don't worry, I'm factoring them all in.
what's left that needs doing? Shit. So
Everything.
this is just us obliterating everybody at this point, right?
Do something crazy.
Do something crazy.
Real's weird
Weird.
shit.
Yeah,
Weird.
weird shit.
Let's get weird.
Yeah, weird. I like that.
I apologize for not being prepared. I wasn't sure. I thought I missed out on it.
No, it's my own fault.
damn.
I was like, Rial, you don't get to play with us. Then I was like, come on, Rial, why don't you know the rules?
You heard all that. Like you're.
We
you're
can Jake,
totally on
give
it.
Jake a break. Who else wants to go? We got other people. Thoricus, you still handy.
Wait, I didn't. Oh, well.
Yeah, no,
Maybe
I guess you did. That's right. You just.
Well, I didn't really go though. I mean,
No,
you
yeah.
said that I could.
Yeah, nothing has actually
that.
gone yet. Everybody, this is
But
just
it's
like,
like-
I want to know what the dope thing you're all gonna do is, and then it's gonna
Right.
happen.
Exactly. So maybe I will need. I mean, I don't know if Jake's got anything yet, but maybe he could help because he can turn himself to look like something else. So maybe if he feeds me some sort of that or casts that spell or whatever on me and feeds me that energy so that I can fusion with security and doink to become that Super Saiyan
King Kong, just like full on.
King
like,
Kong.
Yeah, bro.
King
Like
Kong.
what? We've obviously watched the Godzilla trailer. It's too good. That's what happened just now. But we're there, and I'm happy we're here together.
Or Kira Doink?
Oh, man.
They're here.
So, all right, Rial, it's up to
Yeah,
you. It is
it's
your
your
turn.
turn.
We
That's
have
awesome.
kind of through Tynna, we did a thing with her epic opportunity where she was able to place her magic on another creature. I would extend you that
Thoricus?
same gift in this, again, epic opportunity. If you want to do some kind of cool, like, help Thoricus, take this crazy form or whatever, give him, these whatever natural weapons you decide or that kind of thing. I'm just going to keep dropping this. Then, you can. That's definitely an option. I'll grant you in this special condition.
Oh, I'm about that. Absolutely. If you'll allow it. let's fucking
Yeah,
do
like
it.
I said, this is specifically catered to just be like a nice chance to get to do epic stuff and let our imaginations go a little crazy.
Because why not?
And then it
Well,
just
I-
comes down into like weird mechanical +1s and -2s and stuff. So it's like the reality of this system is far less fun than the execution of it. So
All right.
Yo, Drew, maybe some of the energy from my failed polymorph spell is floating around out there for
Yeah,
you.
that's a good idea. A little piece of
Just
that
in the air.
magic frozen in the black and blue ice. I like that.
The power of the Cha is also pretty exciting, But
Cha
I'm just there to
going
make sure
on.
nothing bad happens to Divot.
The vibes are overall good for a battlescape. I mean, it's with our friends.
Okay, well, like, if there's successful energy or if there's failed energy, there's still energy that's all wanting the same thing, so it can't be wasted. So maybe there's now, like, a fucking maelstrom of all of this energy that just starts surrounding the three of us, and then everyone just lends their power, and then we just fucking fuse together and become this weird anime old man bunny dwarf looking thing.
I gotta
And
say,
just-
mixing the epic opportunity with the team attack mechanic is not something I had entirely considered, but I love the crap out of it. So,
Can we be like mortified by what it looks like though? Like, can we all be like, oh god,
Oh god!
I'd be like, it's question time. Why?
it's too strong. Oh, I'm still just like, oh god, no, no!
What did we do?
What if we become?
but it's like
Cronenberg
so
nightmare.
yeah.
We should all be ashamed.
All of us in a blender.
Yes. All right, yeah. So,
Shame
Rial,
on
what do you
us.
want to do?
Shame on
What do you
both
want
of
to do
us.
to imbue Thoricus? Then we'll resolve Thoricus, and then this thing's gonna happen. So, what do you want to do, Rial?
Oh, I mean, if that's something that's allowed, let's make this horrific shit happen. If I can put the alter self onto those three and make that work.
Yeah, I'll give it. Basically, you would just be like, it's morphin' time to Thoricus, and then the rest of that exchange will break out. But yeah, like if basically what you want to do with your epic opportunity is grant Thoricus like this transformation ability, dope. That'll play out.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, so
We've
Thoricus.
got that mental connection, so there's always like I get the cut of his jib a little bit back
Yeah.
and forth if we're not talking.
Yeah, exactly. It's like you're
Yeah,
able
you
to
get some
cast a
weird
self
shit.
spell on somebody else because you are connected to him through the self, like through your own mind. You know, you guys have just gotten so used to this very powerful magic that links your brains together now. But it's just like you're just used to always having each other's thoughts like near each other's mind.
Oh, yeah, best friend. I could sense some weird Thoricus shit. It's time for weird Thoricus shit. You learned from me so well.
Yeah, I mean, he's really softened me up. I used to kind of be a dick, but I'm like a lot cooler now.
All right, so what
It took the being of pure joy from someone. It took like the goodness, like pure goodness of something to help soften you up.
Yeah, happens.
Aw.
all right, guys, what I need from all of you, if you're all set, Thoricus, are you set? You're gonna take your transformation and do some dope stuff with Shakiri. That's kind of you're set to go.
Honestly, I don't know if I can think of anything better than that.
I think it's great. I love that
Solid.
idea. Yeah,
Then
no, it's
it
dope.
must be perfect.
I just want to make sure before we go into like it happens phase.
I mean, I love all of you guys. I'm so proud of what we've done tonight so far. I mean, Brandon, yourself included. Let's fucking
I'm having
get
a
this
blast.
done. Let's do some dope shit. Let's fucking get it. Let's do it and put dope sauce all over it. Fucking do it.
All right, so here's what we do because this is Dungeons and Dragons. I need a D20 plus whatever your key stat is for each of you guys. So if your strength, give me your strength modifier. For your wisdom, give me your wisdom modifier. Charisma, whatever. It'll be 1d20 plus that. This roll will be able to be affected if you have inspiration, which I think almost all you guys do. Some of your troops have used it. But yes, it all weaves in. Don't punish yourself. Okay, cool. So the only one I'm missing here, I think it's Divot. Yeah, Divot, your D20 didn't come through for me.
Default.
Good, 12.
Oh, there it is.
All right. So and then whatever you rolled, add your number and let me know what you got.
12 twins, Divot. 12.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm rocking with a 13.
Plus my charisma modifier, so 16.
I think.
I'm
Plus my
16 as
wisdom.
well. 16 twins.
Plus my wisdom, I only got a 10. Ooh.
Oh, Tynna.
You get 10 for Tynna?
10 for Tynna.
Tina.
At least it's not a 2.
And Bruno, what did you get?
For
Let me see. My strength is the modifier is 4, right?
Yeah.
So,
There you go. So 22.
22.
22.
2.
All right, and Bruenor, your function in this team attack was to rally these troops. So, all right,
Yeah. Yeah.
so you guys, you see your moment to strike. You know, you waited. You didn't set ambushes all along the path. You specifically were trying to draw the breath of their army right where they are. Now, originally that was to set off a bomb. But now that bomb has exploded and the lake has refrozen, the teeth of your trap is still set. You still have, several units lying in ambush, hiding. And so as Bruenor takes to the sky and starts the chaws, cha, 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 you see more than just the chaboys, but also the silent G's, and also the Gnome Reavers, and also the powder up north. Even though you can't see them, you can hear them. Cha, cha, for the workshop! And you watch as the 400 remaining units of all of your different armies start charging toward this center point. Some of them firing from the stealth to get the grant of their advantage. Some of them just charging out of the wilderness. You see Crumble leading the way, charging with chaboys across the blue and white frozen ice. His two-handed hammer just gleaming, covered in whatever sauce or blood these creatures are filled with. His hammer shines shimmering. You see him make connection with one of the first waves of the Spriggan as the forces of the chaboys, like a wave, crash into the Spriggan ranks. You see the silent G's finally restless from so much preparation, but over ready for this moment, imbued with the inspiration granted them by Divot, just storms the battlefield right behind them, invigorated by Crumble, benefiting from his aid in combat as well, giving them his +5. They too surge into the ranks, stabbing them with the swords so finely crafted by Rivet, thanks to the magical inspirations of Divot. Bruenor, you see as the armies, as they charge, each of them invigorated even more with higher morale. You see each step they take, drawing them closer to this destiny that they can't possibly understand, fills them with more and more purpose. Rial, you run up, and you know, after channeling this magic and summoning the fire, you just kind of put that feeler out to all this arcane energy around you. An arcane trickster you are by trade, and trickster magic is in the air. And you bend the trickster magic around you, the blue and purple wisping energy of the Feywild, and even drawing just a little kiss of the shadow of purple and black magic, you weave this cocktail that you imbue Thoricus with. Thoricus, you're already filled with rage, but you feel as you turn into this massive giant gorilla. You know, you've seen Divot's, you know, the giant grape ape that you fought before, you know, a pretty much very striking resemblance. You managed to make yourself about 20 feet tall, nearly matching Glacious' form. You see as the you know, petals and roses fly around, and suddenly this bright arcing light of this beam of energy shot by Tynna Smoothhands just blows a hole directly through the chest of Glacious. You see where all the ice disappears, there's still this blue glowing core just floating in the center hollow of his now gaping opened ice chest. You watch as Thoricus, you know, turns into this giant monkey. Seeing this hole in the center of it, you just punch your massive giant gorilla fists right through, trying to, you know, break that blue core. Your massive gorilla fist passes right through it. But you manage to blow out a huge hole of ice, and your arm is actually kind of stuck inside the chest of this creature.
Wow.
With your other arm, you just start pounding on the chest and face of Glacious as he tries to wield his giant Ice Blight blade and strike it at you, but you're just too strong, and you're kind of like pinning him at the same time, you know, so you've got him, but you're holding him down, and he's just unable to get a good swing at you. Divot, you see the boulders flying through the air, and you reach into the cloud on either side of this burning sun, channeling down and shattering these boulders. They send down a cascade of broken stone all across the ranks of the Spriggan armies. All 300 struck with a rain of boulders. You know, them not in the defensive position, the rain coming almost from behind them. They're nearly massacred. You see what little ranks of them remain are quickly wiped out by the forces of Crumble, the Silent G's, and the Chaboys. Tynna, you look at the wound that sits, you know, gaping in the chest of him, and you know that attack could have been more powerful. For once you've tested the limits of this new magic, channeling magic from this new source, your connection with Shantia is stronger. You are a more powerful weaver of divine energy when you are accessing that. And you noticed it in that instant. You know, the polish of the orb might have cost you a little bit in the way of payload. You know, and so that devious energy, again, kind of justifying this new thrust of your life that you've chosen. You know, you dabbled a little bit in the trickster water once more, and it's like, oh yes, there is a reason that, you know, when given the chance, I cast away Tharizdun as my god. And so, you know, it is like a nice little self moment of just like, yes, I am powerful, I can draw on this energy, but if I could continue honing my power with Shantia, who knows what you could be capable of, you know? So, but yes, that's the breadth of the attack. You see Sir Curie, you know, dancing, disappearing as the blade is trying to swing down. Every time he tries to bring it down on the giant gorilla of Thoricus, Onyxheart, the blade is stopped by the Sword of Dawn. Each time they strike, a flash of sunlight. You see the burning, intense star starts pushing down closer and closer to the earth. Finally, you hear Curie call out, "Off the lake!" And he just casts his hands aside. Everybody pretty quickly starts pounding sand, running off of the side of the lake. And you see Sir Curie take the handle of the Sword of Dawn and throw it directly into the star. You see its blade, you know, its platinum and yellow golden handle, the dragon holding onto the yellow stone disappear behind this bubble of magma and fire that is now bearing down. And you see Curie just channel this spirit in his hands, And almost as if he's grabbing the hilt of the blade, he grabs the energy of the star and drops it down directly on the army and Glacious. You hear the lake shatter once more. The frozen bodies of the armies, both Spriggan and Gnome, shatter in the wave of intensity as you see this star collide with the mighty blue and black ice body of Glacious. The entire lake breaks. The remaining troops of the Spriggan army fall into the black, icy water below, crumble, and all of your troops are able to make it out in time, heeding the caution of Sir Curie. You see as the great flash of light, the burning sun dissolves. Sir Curie faints. His little bunny body, falls to the ground, his ears lifeless and limp once more, still a faintly move in his chest. He may just be extremely exhausted. The fog clears for a moment. The forces and ranks of the army of Queen Mab have been defeated. The purple and black swirling cloud on the far east side begins to withdraw like fabric through a hole back to the east side, and you swear you hear on the winds a woman's cry. No! A blue light still floats where the form of Glacious was. And you hear the following. The Five. I am most fearful of men of this age are like you. They have forgotten what it is to huddle in a hut with the beasts and demons howling outside their door. They no longer have want of a great and terrible spirit to protect them. They have lost their fear of the wild, and with it, their need to believe. And I cannot blame them. For now they have the power to chase away the shadows with a mere snap of their fingers. So I must ask myself, what role can I play in a world where men worship the wrong gods? Where they make and consume potions that eat away their own brains? Where they ravage and pillage entire mountains, sacred places, kill the very earth itself? No longer do they need me to chase away the winter darkness and usher in a light of spring. But heed me, heroes. For I shall bring back the harshness of the dead of night once more. And you see the blue glowing orb disappears. And that's where we're going to pick it up next time, guys.
Whoa.
Hell yeah.
Come on.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Awesome shit, everybody. Man.
Oh my god!
D&D 7 down. Oh man. Oof. I'm gonna need a minute when we're done. Thank you. Oh my gosh, guys. D&D is awesome. Play it. Do it. It's the greatest game ever made.
Oh my god!
Thank you guys so much for riding that. That was just a fucking blast and a half. Thank you so much for just filling us with joy so regularly, and it's our great joy to then share it with you. And it's this amazing thing where we're the snake eating our tail. I love you guys. I love this community. I absolutely love my cast. These are like for real. Like these are some of my favorite human beings in the entire world. They're incredible. Like they're not just cool at D&D and awesome people. Like they're all just incredibly amazing in real life too. So it is my great joy to just get this group together and play D&D in such a weird time in our world, man. So thank you guys for being our rock. Thanks to my cast for just being so amazing and taking that really epic opportunity. But yeah, holy shit, dudes. I'm sorry, I'm a little my brain is a little mush right now. That was a lot of fun. Fuck, let's do it, dudes. We got us a little ritual that we like to do around here. Maybe you heard about it, maybe you haven't, but we like to take a lighter, like my little pickle guy right here. Make sure we're not gonna light any of our friends, family, or household pets on fire and go. Lighters up. Lighters up.
Light.
Light. Oh my god, thank you guys so much for playing D&D with us. We will see you next week, 8 p.m. Tuesday here on Twitch. Freaking. I fucking love this. Yes! Please, stop.
Right?
Stop. Don't let them see me
So what? You can't touch me, 'cause I'm from the internet.